All right, it's going to be a minute before I get the other platforms up as usual. So bear with me for a second. Questioning your president is what we're going to talk about tonight. I don't know if I'm going to have much of a computer though. For some reason, I'm having more and more trouble with my laptop as the days go on. So I'm going to have to end up bringing a new laptop down. But we'll do that sometime this weekend. But tonight is indeed Friday night politics. Jerry, good evening. You are the first comment. Appreciate you. You know, it's crazy, Jeremy. You said okay, and it doesn't even show that there's anybody on. Okay, there we go. Four people that showing it. It wasn't even showing you guys coming in. So it was crazy to get your okay with nobody responding. Today I'm gonna tailor today's program more towards my YouTube audience. I know I got more MAGA on YouTube, and what we're going to do is I'm going to set my TikTok to subscriber only. So I'm not going to have as many TikTok viewers. So I want to hear more from some of you MAGA folks. If I can, more from some of the MAGA folks. I do want to hear, obviously, liberals are welcome on the program any day, anytime, but I do want to hear from some of the MAGA viewers. And we're going to be talking about, occasionally we do take criticism, things we can do to make the program better. We're going to talk about that. Going to talk about questioning the president. There's look, it's another day in Trump world. Another day in Trump world means a whole lot of other shit is going on. Today wasn't as busy as many other days in terms of new stuff, but the week was busy. And I want to talk to you folks particularly about what's going on in Venezuela, because I do believe that not only I but other folks do believe that could be troubling. Like I said, I can't get my damn computer to do what I wanted to do because there is some things I want to talk about. President Trump making it clear that he has no problem killing people. That was one of his quotes he made over the last day or so, and knowing that he's doing this without getting any sort of permission from Congress, we haven't declared war on anybody, and we're sending a fleet, an aircraft carrier, a fleet of ships down to the Caribbean area. What the hell? I mean, you're going to use aircraft carriers to deal with cartels? What kind of shit is that? What is that? Anyway, let me go ahead and get the program up and running. Hopefully, we get some MAGA because I would like to hear folks tell me why and how they think this is a good thing because I don't like it, but maybe that's the liberal side of me saying I don't like it, and I know how MAGA feels about liberals and all of that shit. So we're gonna tackle it from that standpoint. We're gonna be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and of course we're gonna fire up Facebook in a minute. But nevertheless, I'm gonna go ahead and start the program right now as my computer decides to, I guess it's starting to act right, so I'll go ahead and pause it there. But we're gonna run this one as kind of a Friday night politics. We've had this, we do these on Friday night, and like I said, we're doing it from a standpoint of trying to, I want to speak to some MAGA. I want to get your opinions, your suggestions, your comments. We want to maintain an entertaining program. I think we do meet regularly, and the show is fairly entertaining, but I want to hear from you folks on, if you're hearing things particularly, let's say from yours truly, you think I'm full of shit on some topics, this is tonight where you can say that. You want to offer some critique, this is the night you can do it. Not to say you can't do it any other damn night, but this is the night I really want to hear it because we want to make sure we maintain an interesting, entertaining program. And of course, there is some educational level to it as well because I learned a lot of shit from you folks. You guys learn a lot of shit from other viewers, and hopefully a little bit comes from yours truly as well. But we're gonna start off right off the bat with this notion that we're taking out cartels down in the Venezuela area down there. Do you think this is even legit? I don't want to hear from you. Do you think this is legit? What's going on down there? Because Today, President Trump, they took out another vessel. They killed 6 people. So what they're doing down there has not stopped. And I would like to run it by you what we're talking about here, if I can get my device to cooperate.
Ramping up its military crackdown on suspected drug boats heading into the U.S. A huge escalation in this operation. The Pentagon now deploying an entire aircraft carrier strike group to the waters off Central and South America.
An entire aircraft carrier strike group. Who would have known the cartel is so damn threatening? Let me go ahead and make sure I got my screen here flipped. But who would have known the cartel is that damn threatening?
Move coming hours after Secretary Pete Hegseth posted new video showing the latest strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean. At least 6 people killed. The boat was off of Venezuela. It's the 3rd such attack this week, the 10th since the operation began last month. Now the U.S. military is sending the USS Gerald Ford carrier group to the region, thousands of U.S. troops on board. ABC's Martha Raddatz leading us off tonight.
So there's thousands of troops being sent to Venezuela. Now, you know, I don't know, for some of you, listen, I'm not military, but I know enough to make this statement. Costs a fortune to move strike groups. Costs a fortune to do that. Do you think we would send this much stuff, this many assets to the region if we weren't going to probably launch some sort of an attack? Now, Venezuela is not cooperating with America in any sense of the word. So it's not like Venezuela is bowing to America in any sort of the word. So, and we know Trump, if you don't bow to Trump, there's usually some kind of action that's going to follow. So do you think that we're going to end up basically starting a war with Venezuela? In my humble opinion, and I'll certainly go in the comments to tackle this shortly, but in my humble opinion, we probably already have. If there was another nation bombing vessels off the coast of America and they had killed as many people as we've killed off the coast of Venezuela at this point, I think we would already consider that an act of war. We're in the double digits. It's not like we've killed a bunch of people, but I believe it's probably somewhere around at least 30 or more. And of course, we're indicating we're going to keep doing it. And I'll give you a take on how bad. To me, it sounds awful. I don't know why all these damn things are firing up here, but to me, the way President Trump states it makes it clear we're not going to stop. And Venezuela has a whole lot of probably mayhem coming their way.
Mr. President, if you are declaring war against these cartels and Congress is likely to approve of that process, why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead. Okay?
Now, I want to. Sometimes the wording that he says,
people and a lot of
some of the stuff he says, it's just the wording of it is kind of comical. But I don't know how many of you folks have heard Paul Ryan. I want you to hear his response to this because I think this is important. You hear Trump saying we're going to kill people that are bringing drugs to this country. I want you to hear Ryan. If you have not already heard this, I want you to hear his take on it because I think it should set off some alarm bells.
Well, in a lot of American cities, but we just don't go in and shoot them. I mean, we have trials, they get legal representation, and even on the high seas, it's been that way for generations. If you go off the coast of Miami, the Coast Guard will be stopping boats today, and about 25% of the boats that they stop, that they're suspicious of drugs, there won't be any drugs on board. So 25% of the time the suspicion is wrong. And that's why we don't shoot and just blow up boats off of Miami.
Listen to
but
this.
Neither should we be blowing them up off the coast of Venezuela. Number one, there is no fentanyl made in Venezuela. Not just a little bit, there's none being made in Venezuela.
Now, by way of yes or no in the comments, how many of you folks believe what he just said is true, that there is no fentanyl being made in Venezuela? By way of yes or no in the comments, he says there's none.
These are outboard boats that, in order for them to get to Miami, would have to stop and refuel 20 times. They're in all likely going to Trinidad and Tobago, which is an island right off of the coast of Venezuela. So there's a lot of reasons to be worried about this. But number one is the broader principle of when can you kill people indiscriminately? When you're at war. That's why when we declare war, it's supposed to be done by Congress. It's supposed to be thoughtful. It's supposed to be debated. And we're not supposed to do it willy-nilly. And then when you have war, you just kill people in the war zone. And even then there are rules of engagement. But interdicting drugs has always been a criminal activity and a criminal anti-crime sort of activity where we don't just summarily execute people. We actually present evidence and convict them. We have dangerous people.
I kind of wonder based on what he's saying. And I mean, he obviously is no liberal. I believe he's more like a libertarian. He's obviously no liberal, but why is the MAGA side of the aisle so I guess I'd say open-minded or so willing to agree with just murdering the people without knowing who they are, what they were trafficking, how much, where they were going? I mean, there's zero details on this. There is literally zero details. They're just showing you someone in the water dying. That is all you're seeing is somebody in the water in a boat dying. And they're offering you zero actual evidence other than, of course, if you believe everything Trump says, then you can go by what they're saying is they're trafficking drugs and they had to be taken out. But the only way it works is you have to truly believe the Trump administration every time and that they're being accurate and truthful and transparent with you 100% of the time because they're not actually showing you any evidence whatsoever. So that's why we're also titling this program Questioning the President. Because I do want to ask you folks, you've heard of Trump derangement syndrome. I'm sure many of you have heard the term Trump derangement syndrome. Is it Trump derangement syndrome? Is that a case of Trump derangement syndrome if you question the validity of what your president is saying? Does being patriotic, does loving your country mean you just trust what the president says without requiring any proof, evidence, or validity to what they are telling you? Because there's nothing being confirmed by what they're telling you here. And this is kind of the method of operation for the Trump administration. I mean, obviously, the same thing is applying right now, much lesser degree, a lot less important. But the renovation he's doing at the White House, for instance, a lot less important. But it's the same way. You're not getting any actual evidence. Okay, 230 million a day, cost 300 million tomorrow. You don't know what it's going to look like. You haven't seen any pictures. He didn't ask anybody for permission. You just have to trust what he is doing is the right thing. You're getting nothing other than what he is telling you. And that is the method of operation from President Trump since he became president again, such as the deportations, when they were sending folks to El Salvador, some of these folks. You just have to trust that what they're telling you is accurate. They're not proving to you that folks are part of MS-13 or Trinidad Agua or anything. They're just, you got to believe it. So I'm asking, is it a case of Trump derangement syndrome if you do not blindly trust your president? Do you have the right to actually question the validity of what he's saying and demand evidence without it being referred to as Trump derangement syndrome? That's what we're going to talk about, Friday Night Politics. And of course, there's another one here I want to run by you because it could have all sorts of implications going forward. And I'll go straight to the comment section in the box after this, but I want you to hear this. You probably heard it. You may have heard it, came in today, but I'm bringing this up because this could have lasting implications in regards to America's relationship with its neighbor to the north.
U.S. President Donald Trump has announced tonight he is terminating trade talks with Canada, blaming an anti-tariff ad by Ontario for the reason. Trump posted this message on social media saying, the Ronald Reagan Foundation has just announced that Canada has fraudulently used an advertisement, which is fake, featuring Ronald Reagan speaking negatively about tariffs. The ad was for $75,000. They only did this to interfere with the decision of the U.S. Supreme Court and other courts. Tariffs are very important to the national security and economy of the USA. Based on their egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
No more trading with Canada, one of our largest trading partners, obviously hurting the relationship this country has with that nation as well. One of our, I believe, well, I know Australia, because when I used to live there, that was one of their quotes, is we're the only nation that has fought alongside America in every war. But Canada's always also has been on our side in many wars. Very long-term ally. Do you think what Trump is doing in regards to Canada is good for this country? Now he's terminating this thing, terminating the trade deal agreements or talks or whatever, all over a commercial that someone put on television in one of their cities during a ball game. That didn't take much. And I do want to tell you, this is why you'll hear me personally push back when folks suggest that Trump's tariffs are going to bring jobs and things back like that back to America. And I often say that you're not going to move a huge manufacturing industry or plan or whatever you got going on that costs millions of dollars based on President Trump when you can clearly see he changes at a whim. I'm assuming that him nixing the trade deals with Canada, there's a lot of businesses and business people out there that are pissed, that are going to lose money, that was expecting something came out of that would help their business on both sides of the border. By him just nixing that deal between Canada and America for them to sit down and talk and things like that, there's a lot of businesses in America, particularly tourism up near the Canadian border, all across this country, all the way from the Seattle area all the way over into Maine. Canadians come in this country and spend money at businesses all along the northern border. All of them folks want our relationship with Canada to get better. So all of them states, with the exception of maybe Washington and a couple of them over in New England, most of those states are conservative states. The Dakotas, what else is up there? Idaho, I believe Montana is up there. I mean, all of those states are red states. They were hoping something came out of this. So when he nixed that deal, there's a lot of small businesses, hotels, all of that shit. The tourism industry is smashed right now. Canadians are not coming in the country. Anyway, looking in the comments, we got a ton of lumber from Canada. It's the dumbest move ever. Let's also thank him for China tariffs. Now China is buying other stuff all over the world, and it's not hurting them. I don't know if it's hurting them or not. I can't speak on the Canadian economy, but you are correct. Here's a problem. Even after Trump is gone, the deals that these countries are making to isolate themselves against America doing this to them again are going to be long-standing deals. China is no longer purchasing soybeans from America. Even if you get rid of Trump in 3 years and put in a hardcore left-wing liberal that is an apologist in chief, you can't undo the deal. They don't made a deal with, who knows how long those deals are. So you can't, this is not something you can undo anytime soon. These countries are, because a lot of these countries they're making deals with. Let's say, for instance, you want to do business with China in place of America. You're happy to see America's ruined their relationship. You want to get the business. What's the first thing you're going to do? Try to get that deal as long as you can get it, because America may soon realize the error of their ways with Trump and put in some apologist in chief like Obama and try to get that business back. So we need you to get them to sign on the dotted line for as long as possible. Take less money if you got to get a 10, 15, 20-year contract. So that way, when they put in somebody that's trying to get the business back, they're already committed to us. So I don't see being able to undo this anytime soon. Anyhow, we'll go straight to the comment section. This is just simply a Friday night politics, what's on your mind, questioning the president, etc., etc. How you feeling about the way the country is being ran right now? Arshafine, are we feeling great in terms of making America great again? How you feeling about things?
Well, there was a lot, obviously, that you just said, and put on the TV. Okay, let's go with the last thing. The tariffs. Mm-hmm. I thought it was really interesting today. Definitely about the whole Ontario, the governor or whatever of Ontario putting that commercial out. But I also, I was listening to something earlier today, and it was true what Reagan had said. It was edited in a sort of a kind of way, but during the time, I don't know if you looked this up, Tim, because I look it up. It was about Reagan doing a radio address, because he always did things on the radio, about having to put tariffs on Japan because of semiconductors.
Right.
So, and he was very apologetic to the people of the United States. But yes, it was edited, but it was his words based on tariffs. So, given that, my thing on it is why is our president so sensitive?
That's what That's what I was going to ask. Even if this was edited, why would you stop a trade deal based on a commercial?
Like, are you so insecure and butthurt about everything? You shouldn't be the president of a country if you're that sensitive. It's not normal. Like, could you imagine if Obama or Reagan or George, all these people had all these kind of, they don't like me. I mean, imagine if George W. Bush, it would be thing about Kanye West singing George Street doesn't like black people. I mean, he kept it to himself.
Well, it would be referred to as being a snowflake. If a liberal did exactly what Trump did, canceled trade talks due to a commercial, it would be called by the right being a snowflake.
Well, and by all definition, we're all snowflakes because we're all unique. But he is very unique.
What do you mean?
What do I mean by all? No snowflake is the same. Like in nature. And all of us have different, fingerprints. We're all unique in our own way. He is a very unique snowflake. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, why do you think Canada picked such an opportune time to play that message? Was it indeed some sort of attack on President Trump and his tariff policies?
Absolutely, and then we also are having a World Series.
Yeah. I'm actually watching it right now. It's wow, Toronto's up 5-2. Wow, and the bases are loaded with no outs in the bottom of the sixth. Wow.
I mean, I congratulate you for being able to be awake. Maybe that's why you choose to do lives. I could do live baseball, but not on TV. It's just too much for me.
We grew up
and I have Cubs fans and Mariner fans and White Sox fans in my family. So yeah, it's rough. But the other thing about the that you had talked about with Paul Ryan.
Yes.
And basically just murdering people out on watercrafts.
But wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Trump says that them folks are bringing dangerous narcotics into this country. If he is right, does what he is doing, is it not warranted to save American lives?
Well, and that's the great thing about, like you had said, the Coast Guard, people like that. But fentanyl comes from China.
Yeah.
From Venezuela. Okay, if you're really that unnerved about marijuana, but you can get marijuana in the States. Most people can grow it now legally somewhere. No, I don't. And when the government says they were fishermen, and you have no proof, there's no proof. That's the part that's unnerving, and where you should be. And you can say that it's Trump derangement syndrome, but I think it's actually the other way around.
What do you mean?
I think the people that are questioning, I think that the people that are just in line without questioning, they are the ones that have Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh, let me hold on. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Jacqueline Polini in the comments says you're a self-hating black man. Go to a psychiatrist and get help. Do I come across as a self-hating African American?
You don't ever talk bad about. No.
I have no clue where it's coming from. Arsha, your signal is breaking up, Arsha. Arsha, yeah. Arsha, unfortunately, I got to drop you. Your signal started really breaking up bad. You're always welcome back, but you started getting illegible. I see the comments. Bobby Brown, don't be cruel, says she is right. Self-hating black man, huh? Yes, you seem to be the most racist man I've ever met. Wow, we opened up the last tonight. I'm getting my ass kicked. I am being referred to as the most racist man that this individual has ever met. And by the way, we've never met other than online, but I would love to know how and why you're saying that. And feel free to state it. Give me what you got. You know we don't block, ban, or censor. Program is always MAGA friendly, but liberals are welcome as well. When I say we go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q, we mean it. So feel free to state your case, make your point. You can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. So let me know. Tim, you're not. They say that because you're not biased. Appreciate that. Me too. Somebody saving my ass. Aaron says, Tim, black people are 13% of the population and pay only 6% of the taxes and collect 40% of the welfare. What say you? I don't know if that's accurate. I do agree that they're 13% of the population, but pay only 6% of the taxes? Is that overall in terms of the entire country? Is that a certain area? There's a whole lot more I need to know about the 6%. And you say they collect 40% of welfare. That is false. And I'll tell you why I say that's false. They're only 13% of the population. So if they were to be collecting 40% of the welfare, that would be that overwhelmingly, by far, most people on welfare are black. And that makes no sense because there's a whole lot of states in this country that have little to no black people in it. You think most people in Idaho are on welfare are black? You think most of the people in Montana that are on welfare are black? So why West Virginia? There's a host of states out there that barely have any black people at all. So I can tell you for a fact, and I agree with facts only, it's fairly impossible. It is fairly impossible Toronto just hit another home run, 9-2, bottom of 6. But it's fairly impossible for 40% of welfare to be going to black people. That would mean that there are it would have to be almost no working black people at all to make that happen. And if you go to any black community, I don't care how dilapidated that community is, go to any shop, the grocery store, call the police in that neighborhood. Black people are all over the place working. There's just no way 40%. And I'll tell you this: if 40% of 40% of America's welfare were going to black people, white people would shut it off. White people would shut it the fuck up. I'm just telling you. So that last number is way exaggerated. I doubt if it's probably more than 20%. That last number is way exaggerated. Anyway, going back to the comment section, tap the screen, get your boy up to about 10,000. We certainly could let your thumbs not be lazy. I need to get the likes up to about 10,000. Helps out the algorithm. This is a wide open program tonight. But real quick, in regards to what me and my last caller was talking about before her signal went out.
And growth are at stake. When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs.
I don't know why it went into the music, but he is basically, this is not the clip I wanted to bring up, but he says exactly what my last caller rightfully pointed out, is that Reagan was no fan of imposing tariffs. He was no fan of that. I was trying to find Reagan speaking without the Canadian ad because the Trump administration is talking about how edited the Canadian ad is. And we've played it on the program here before this Canadian debacle came up. We've played this ad here before because Trump obviously took the office and started imposing all sorts of tariffs. So I'll see if I can play just a quick clip of it before we go back to the next call.
Because we feel both Japan and the United States have an obligation to promote the prosperity and economic development that only free trade can bring. Now, that message of free trade is one I conveyed to Canada's leaders a few weeks ago, and it was warmly received there. Indeed, throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. Now, there are sound historical reasons for this. For those of us who lived through the Great Depression, the memory of the suffering it caused is deep and searing. And today, many economic analysts and historians argue that high tariff legislation passed back in that period, called the Smoot-Hawley Tariff, greatly deepened the Depression and prevented economic recovery.
I'm not going to play all this, but I do want you to hear this, because this is before the Canadian debacle happened, because President Trump's argument is that they edited the ad that they played on television, and for obvious reasons. This clip is about 6 minutes long. They're not going to play a 6-minute commercial in the middle of a game. They have to squeeze it to 30 seconds or a minute spot at best. So, of course, they edited it. They can't play the whole damn thing. I mean, not to mention during the middle of a World Series. You realize how much money it would cost for a 6-minute fucking ad?
You see, at first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. What eventually occurs is, first, homegrown industries start relying on government protection in the form of high tariffs. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on, something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. The memory of all this occurring back in the 30s made me determined when I came to Washington to spare the American people the protectionist legislation that destroys prosperity.
Now, one thing I want to say, because before Trump came along, Reagan was like the god of the Republican Party. He didn't give a shit about H.W. and George W. It was this guy. I don't understand why what he is saying here is not resonating with MAGA, because some of the stuff he's talking about here is already happening. Jobs being lost, trade war going back. Half of this stuff is already in place right now. And you still have no shortage of MAGA disputing that tariffs are going to lead to higher costs of goods and services. I don't know why they would dispute this guy. He's saying this in the 80s and actually pointing to how it happened during the Great Depression. So there's already historical precedent of this. Why does the Trump administration and his supporters think that somehow, some way, if we do it in 2025, it's going to have a different result? You ever heard of the law of insanity? Doing the same shit and expecting that somehow, some way, it's going to have a different result. I don't get that. I don't get why MAGA does not see this coming down the pipe when we've done it and had exactly what Reagan is talking about that's going to happen. Anyhow, let me go back to the box. And I thought this was worthy of playing because, like I said, it's happened before and it didn't turn out well. Gangsta Grandma, good evening.
I seen that they was trying to tear your ass up today in that live. And then they got scared of me. And they called my fucking ass broke. Bitches can't even afford my fucking car payment.
Well, listen, anytime you see me in a different person's live, and I was in another MAGA live, she's talking about folks, they were coming at me, but I was swinging back.
You honestly, that's why I came up, because you was trying. But when I got up there, the bitches got quiet and then said, oh, fucking broke. Bitch, you can't afford my car note alone.
And I see in the comments a few other people actually saw that as well. But
and then you know what they did with their racist fucking asses? Oh, you're broke because your EBT's gonna get cut the fuck off. Bitch, I don't get EBT. How the fuck you don't get EBT when you have a $180,000 car?
Wow. Well, speaking of EBT, what do you think about one of my viewers who suggested that 40% of welfare recipients in this country are black
That's
people?
racist. They always assume that us black folks is on ABT. What's the trail trash ass corn monkeys that are on it? They're the ones that are on it more than any of us.
Where do you think
Let's get the facts straight. Let's get the facts straight. That the damn whatchamacallits are on it. What the fuck?
Wait, say that again?
I said, what the fuck? They always want to be racist. And then when I call them, when I call them the sugar when I call them out they fucking names, they're, oh, she's racist. Well, bitch, I got her. I ain't racist because, honey, you ain't shit to me anyway.
Well, when you're calling people, when you're calling people cornstarch and devils and shit, they're going to think you're a little bit racist.
They are the white cheek devils because of the triple K. They are cornstarch because they white as fucking hell. They burn in the sun. They can't even get melanin in their asses. They wish they could be us. And they are fucking monkeys. See, monkey do monkey. They all up in their knees, gogging, bobbing over some white cock that they never gonna touch.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? They are imbeciles of fucking cockroaches.
Well, how about this? Bucky in the comments says, if you are 400 pounds, my taxes should not pay for your fudge rounds.
Bitch, am I 400 pounds?
I'm just reading what's posted.
They fucking special. They fucking special for real, bitch. The only thing that's big on my ass is my triple D's, bitch. And that's it.
Bless your heart. Ain't nothing wrong with some
You
triples.
know what I mean? And I got a big ass. I thank you. I'm black. I got a nice ass and I got triple D's. Bitch, you can't even afford that shit.
Oh,
Get the fuck out of here. All natural.
All right.
God bless all black. God bless all black women. We got natural coochies. We got natural asses. We got natural breasts and every damn thing else. You white tea motherfuckers gotta go and buy everything. You guys gotta buy your fucking lips too.
What is a hold on? What is a natural coochie? Is there an unnatural coochie?
Yeah. Have you? When I seen the white cheek coochie, I was like, what the fuck? It looks like ground beef or roast beef on crack.
I don't think I've ever. I don't think
that shit was nasty.
I don't think I've ever heard in my life of an unnatural coochie. I'm learning some things, but I'm going to.
There's some unnatural shit up in that shit. And then when I found out yesterday, when the motherfuckers don't take baths every damn day, you got me fucked up. When I say I went straight fucking lesbian, I sure did. I went straight fucking chocolate, okay? Straight fucking chocolate. I would never dip and dap and nothing like that. Nope.
Okay.
I love.
Well, I tell you this, James Coleman in the comments is not happy. He says, I guess she hasn't seen the white rappers that the Beyonces, they've all had work done. So what's this bitch talking about? Hold on, hang on. Hold on. He concludes by saying, what this bitch talking about? Get a life, hoe.
I got you, hoe, though, and I very guarantee your fucking white ass would never come to my face to say that. And Beyonce never had work.
But the viewer does have a point. Cardi B has had work. They're getting BBLs on the black side.
They getting them some BBL. They can afford it. The white people can't. They on welfare. Like they blame it on us, right? Like they said, we're 40% on welfare. They can't afford my car note. They always want to throw shit in our fucking faces. Oh, we're on welfare. We're the ones on Section 8. No, bitch. The white man is.
And Dr. Martin says, so if you're fat, you shouldn't get SNAP benefits. Is that what they're saying? Yeah, to some degree, that is what they're saying. They want you to be skinny.
I want SNAP benefits. Can I have some?
Hey.
Shit, I be paying a hell of a lot of damn taxes. Can I have some SNAP? I want $1,000.
Well, I'm going to ask you the tough question. I can't believe I'm doing this, but that is the purpose of this live. We're trying to improve the live. We want to get suggestions on how we can make it more entertaining. How can we make it better? Are we doing anything wrong? Are we doing anything wrong here?
Yes. You stay fluffing on your fucking knees. I need to get you knee pads. You know, if you add my fucking fat ass, yes, I'm thick as hell, honey. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm a Sacramento County bar. I'm thick as hell, okay? But let me tell you, you add my fucking ass, your views will go sky high.
Well,
well, I promise you that. Your views will go high.
We're totally in favor of viewers going sky high, but I'm trying to get this fluffy and on your knees type thing. Where are you getting this from?
Tim, I see. I like your little bald-headed, so-called vanilla-looking ass.
Vanilla? I'm dark as hell.
Yeah,
you're the one that all my guests refer to as white. How the hell you gonna call me vanilla?
White.
You about as light as the inside of my damn hand.
I'm light-skinned.
Right.
That don't mean I'm fucking white. I'm light-skinned. And I never will bow down to the white T-man and be like, oh my God, I got fluff. Yes, kiki, cockeyed, and everything else, and giving them every damn thing. Hell no. You push back more on me than you do on their asses. No. You don't fucking push back. You just be kiki and cockeyed. When I went up there on live today on with you, yeah, you did push back, but they was coming up on you. So I said, I'll take my fat ass all up in there. And what they did, they said I was broke, and then I'm on fucking food stamps. Because I'm black. They even said it. I said, damn, dude. Well, black people are only ones going to be on food stamps?
Maybe this explains it. James Coleman says, you know why she's calling me that? Says that's because you're conservative. You're just like the one that they threw bananas at, Larry Elder, but they didn't call her. Do I come across as conservative?
Oh, honey, you are beyond. You're an undercover maggot. You really are.
Really?
You're an undercover maggot. You really are. You're an undercover maggot.
Explain.
You know you are.
Elaborate.
Because you fluff too much. You know what, Tim? If you would push back, you don't have to go off on them like me, calling them uncooked sausage and calling them you know what I mean, like the monkey shit and stuff. You don't have to. I do that for a fucking reason, because they come at me. That you see my inbox. They told me they're gonna try to grate me. And you know what I told them? They'll be unalive within 24 hours fucking with me. They don't know who my family is.
You got great threats in your inbox?
Yeah.
Damn.
And you know what I said? I could turn this shit over to my familia, and they will hurt them.
Well, you're not gonna like this one. Aaron M in the comments says she is white, but she has ate so much black dick she forever speaks in Ebonics.
Yeah, you know what? I did eat black dick. I love it too. You know what? The chocolate dick I be sucking on and I be bobbing on, don't give me salmonella. Don't give me crabs. And sure, don't try to unalive my ass. My black men are fine and gorgeous. My black men are kings. You know white trailer trash is like him? They be unaliving everybody. They can't even get no real pussy. They small dick fucking energy. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, you gotta.
You thinking you gonna tell me I don't suck cock? I don't have I don't like BBC. That's my mom. That's my daddy right there. My dad is black. I love my chocolate dick. And what? Is that gonna be an insult?
I don't know about saying you like dick while mentioning your dad in the same sentence,
well,
though.
No, I didn't mean it like that. My dad is a black man. I'm not an ancestor. I'm not the white man that fucks their mama. Their daddy don't even know who their fucking mama is.
Okay. Well, AV in the comments says she sounds sexy as fuck. So you do have a.
I am sexy, bitch. I got triple D's, a nice ass, and I go down on my black men. He can't even get enough. You know what? The white men that come up in my inbox, they be hating. Because you know why? I could take their soul. But I would never.
Well, let me ask you something.
My fucking mouth.
Now, when you talk about taking the soul of white men, I want just for the white audience. Hold on, for the white audience that may be watching, can you elaborate on what it means to take someone's soul?
When a woman goes down on you and makes you bust a nut and your toes curl, but I'll never do that to them. They don't even have enough to even gag on. That's why I like my BBC. I love my chocolate men. They make you at least gag a little bit, but unfortunately, the white man can't even do that fucking right. They can't do shit fucking right. They have their babies, they leave their asses. You know what? They always talk shit about black men, and they always talk shit about us. On welfare, they talk shit about, our baby daddies be leaving us. Do you know 75% of black men are in the homes of their baby mamas? Yes, that's.
Is it really? And to be honest with you, I don't know. Is it really that high? 75%.
75% of all black men are in the homes of their children. No, you don't have me. You know, the white man ain't like that. That's why that bitch is on welfare.
Listen, I'm going by, if you go by what this country tells you, I'm under the impression that white men stay with their families a lot more than black men do.
No, that's not true. They grape their daughters.
Where the
That's
hell?
the true part.
Where the
They
hell
grape
you?
their daughters. They're the pedophiles.
Where are
They
you?
everything but that.
Where are you hearing that white men are raping their own kids? Where are you hearing that?
Look it up. Look it up. Do you know SA? Us women, 1 in 4 women and little girls get SA'd, and they know who the SAer is. They're in the family.
It ain't.
They uncles, they daddies. Yep. The white man ain't good for nothing.
That is racist. What do you mean the white man ain't good for nothing?
No, it's not.
That is racist. That's wrong.
Okay,
That's wrong.
Hey, Tim, get on your knees. Tell me, what has the white man did for us? Tell me. What has the white man did for us? Tell us, what is the most beautiful thing the white man has done?
He gave you the country you live in there right now.
Like what?
I hear some folks.
They gave us this what?
Hold on.
They gave us this what?
Hold on.
They didn't give us this damn country. What the fuck you talking?
Hold on.
Get that cock out your fucking mouth. They didn't give us this damn country. You know what they did? They gave you in the 60s, they gave you what? What they give you, Tim, in the 60s? They treated you like a what? What did they give you?
It wasn't good, but let me ask you this: if it wasn't for the white,
they gave you
hold on, hang on. If it wasn't for
no damn country,
if it wasn't for the white man, do you think we'd be living in this country?
They stole our ass. Well, not our asses.
There's some of that. Yeah, there's some of that.
They stole our ancestors.
No, listen.
They raped our ancestors.
Listen, let me make it.
Biracial babies.
Let me make it clear. They treated our ancestors like shit. I agree with that. But hold on. Us modern day blacks are benefiting from because now they're oppressing other people abroad. They're not doing it to us. They're doing it to other folks, and you are actually enjoying the fruits of their labor.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think it's fun that we see Venezuela going to get blown the fuck up and have their shit destroyed because we have a fucking orangutan in office, an orange fucking wallabies looking damn freakazoid in office and doing everything to get black and brown people out of here? So we're going to go destroy another fucking country so they can come over here again? That's what we do. Do you see that? You see what the white man does? Do you see what they do?
Let me respond to that. I'll tell you this. This is what I say. They're exploiting other people, and you're enjoying the fruits of their labor. If we go to Venezuela and we do whatever we normally do to these countries, which is going to probably be regime change and taking their resources down there, it's going to make the price of fuel go down in this country. That's the reason why we pay less for gas.
Tim, it's not. You know what it just did? Tim, get that fucking smoker off. I swear to God. You know, you know what? I'm in Chicago. I'm right over here. I'm a hop, skip, and a different. You don't meet up. You want to meet up, too? So I can bop you upside your fucking coconut.
You got another fan. Handsome Stubby Finger says, Tim, let gangster grandma know. Fun times are waiting and lots of playtime. Drip, drip, LOL. I don't think he's talking about dripping out of his neck. He's talking about dripping out of the other head.
Tim, you know what's fucked up, Tim? You know, and I'm being honest to God, this is so really fucked up. The white man is so fucked up, Tim. I'm not talking about our allies, okay? They understand what they did. They did do, but their ancestors did stuff, and they used their white privilege for the good. But these fucked up maggots, the cornball motherfuckers that are incest.
Well, you know something? I had somebody message me earlier, and I want to ask you this question. I'm going to pass it on to you. And this was coming from a black guy. He said, why do we continue blaming the white man for everything when the biggest problems in our neighborhood are us? We're killing each other. We're dumping litter. We're hurting each other. How do you respond to that? How do you respond to that?
He's a fucking maggot. For one, let me tell you something. Why is the white man killing the white man? Hispanics kill Hispanics, right?
But you're not hearing.
And it's always the black folks. Oh, this black on black crime. Well, no shit, bitch. You're in Chicago. Like, I went to the South Side today. It's not as bad as everybody makes it sound to be. I went to my best friend's mama's house.
But
you know what I mean?
But what he's saying does have some validity to it. Fact is, most of the problems that African Americans encounter in their lives, whether it's crime, whether it's robbery, even some of the poverty, most of that is at the hands of another black guy. Yet we're screaming about the white guy.
Let me tell you something. The poverty isn't because of black men. It's the white man. They fucked around. You know what I mean? They won't give us opportunities. They put us in the fucking ghettos. You feel me? Redlining every damn thing. Shut the fuck up.
That's not happening now. There's nobody keeping you in the ghetto right now.
Yes, redlining is happening. They just haven't been caught all the time. A big bank a couple years ago got slammed with redlining.
Wait a minute. You're telling me in 2025 black people cannot move out of the ghetto.
I didn't say that, dumbass.
That's what it sounds like you saying.
No, I did not say that. I said they keep you in. They try to keep you in. They don't like
how?
Right now. Like how, Tim? Seriously?
Yeah, how?
What is the white man doing right now? What is he doing right now?
He ain't keeping you in the ghetto.
What is the white man doing right now?
He's not. There's nobody white keeping you. What are you talking about?
Tim, under Biden, we had less unemployment under Biden. Now it's over 27%. How are the child people going to move out of the ghetto if they don't have no jobs? Tim, how?
You gonna
answer that? Get that dick out your mouth.
Being unemployed does not keep you in the ghetto. That is your own motivation.
How you get out the ghetto and pay for rent?
I decided I wanted to leave.
How you gonna do it without no job?
You're telling me you're gonna blame the economy under the Biden administration, which hold on. You're gonna blame me. You're gonna
300,000 black women lost their jobs.
I'm going to ask you this. Under the Obama administration, a lot of blacks suggest that the economy was doing outstanding. Why the hell are you still in the ghetto under the Biden administration? Why didn't you leave?
There's a lot of reasons, Tim. There is.
And it ain't the white man's fault.
A lot of it is. Then we got some people that like to stay in the hood.
Some people like to blame the white man for shit he ain't got.
I have family right now.
Some people like to blame the white man for shit he ain't got nothing to do with. Ain't nobody stopping you from moving.
Like what? What has the white man haven't done? Don't tell me, please.
There's no way in hell you gonna blame the white man for where you live in 2025.
Some people like the hood. I wish I could go back to my hood. I wish I could, but my hood's way far from where my businesses are at. I would live in the hood, because the hood isn't even as bad as everybody makes it out to be. Hell, we be playing bones and shit, having barbecues and stuff. Hold on for a second.
Lucas Feddick, appreciate the support. Ed G says GMA got gangsta grandma got menopause and Alzheimer's, unwashed and stank.
That's his mama.
He says
that's his mama. Mama don't wash their ass. That's white people shit. They don't wash their fucking ass and shit. I seen it all thing. My fucking fat ass be washing my titties and my coochie every damn day, twice a damn day actually. Okay, and I don't have menopause quite yet. I'm too damn young.
All right, well, I got to move it on, but
right now, the only reason why I'm coughing because I got gas up in my fucking system. They can't afford the gas, bitch. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta move it on, but he did say
hold on.
Real quick.
Tim, I am crossfaded so bad. But let me tell you this, Tim. I'm not blaming the white man for everything, but you got to realize what the white man has done for a lot of shit. They have done a whole lot of shit. Now look at what on some real shit. No jokes aside, look what he's fixing to do with Venezuela. He's going to try and do all the shit to change who he wants to change up in the government, right? And guess what they're going to do? It's going to destroy it again.
Well,
and guess who's going to come over here looking for opportunities?
Well, until it happens, it's just liberal fear mongering. I gotta go. Appreciate you coming through. Moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen, get your guy on up to 20,000. It's a lot of lazy thumbs in here. Nevertheless, going to keep promoting that. I need the help with the algorithm. Tap the screen, get the likes up if you want to help your boy out with TikTok cap goal. Support the program, do so. Help your boy out with the TikTok cap goal. I have not had a car payment in 41 years, says Will Sim. How do you go 40 weeks? So you've been walking the whole time? I don't know. I mean, I guess it could happen. I mean, I had relatives that lived to an old age and never drove at all. I suppose, but I like my freedom of having wheels. In fact, I'll tell you this before I go to the next caller. Engaging the Trump economy, there are some economists that are now suggesting that one of the red flags is that people are starting to default on car loans. And I'm bringing it up because you talked about not having a car loan in 41 years. Now they say this. I don't know if it doesn't really apply to me. I don't know if I've ever been in this situation, but they say that people will let go of all of their other bills. Go default on their credit cards, default even on their rent before they default on their car loans, because the car represents not only your freedom, not only your ability to get around and maybe get to a job if you're trying to get out of the mess you're in, but also in the worst, most dire cases, you can also live in your car. And there's a whole lot of people that do. In fact, I've lived in a vehicle before. When I was an over-the-road driver, I've lived in a vehicle. So they were saying that out of everything, the car note is the last thing people default on because they want to keep that car even during the most desperate of times. So the analyst is saying that once people start defaulting on their car loans, that shows things are getting really bad. And according to a few analysts, they're starting to say that people are starting to default on car loans. So that could be a telltale sign of the dire straits to come. Nevertheless, we are doing a Friday night politics. I want to talk to you folks about what we can do to improve this show. And of course, I want to also continue having a deep dive into what the hell's going on in off the shores of Venezuela, because now we're deploying whole strike groups down there. I mean, it went from dealing with drug dealers to whole strike groups. And that just, I don't know, it just seems like, do we really need an aircraft carrier to take on the cartel?
The Trump administration ramping up its military crackdown on suspected drug boats heading into the U.S. A huge escalation in this operation. The Pentagon now deploying an entire aircraft carrier strike group to the waters off Central and South America. The move coming hours after Secretary Pete Hegseth posted new video showing the latest strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean. At least 6 people killed. The boat was off of Venezuela. It's the third such attack this week, the 10th since the operation began last month. Now the U.S. military is sending the USS Gerald Ford carrier group to the region, thousands of U.S. troops on board. ABC's Martha Raddatz leading us off tonight.
Do we really need all of that? I mean, what is the goal of that? Does that sound like that is what is necessary to deal with cartel aircraft carriers, F-18s, and all of this shit? Does that really sound like that's what we're actually trying to do? And of course, you may have heard earlier, I'll take the next caller, but you may have heard me play earlier. I'm going to play this again because I think it's important, but Paul Ryan is speaking on this.
American cities, but we just don't go in and shoot them. I mean, we have trials, they get legal representation. And even on the high seas, it's been that way for generations. If you go off the coast of Miami, the Coast Guard will be stopping boats today. And about 25% of the boats that they stop, that they're suspicious of drugs, there won't be any drugs on board. So 25% of the time the suspicion is wrong. And that's why we don't shoot and just blow up boats off of Miami, but neither should we be blowing them up off the coast of Venezuela. Number one, there is no fentanyl made in Venezuela. Not just a little bit, there's none being made in Venezuela. These are outboard boats that in order for them to get to Miami would have to stop and refuel 20 times. They're in all likely going to Trinidad and Tobago, which is an island right off of the coast of Venezuela. So there's a lot of reasons to be worried about this. But number one is the broader principle of when can you kill people indiscriminately? When you're at war. That's why when we declare war, it's supposed to be done by Congress. It's supposed to be thoughtful. It's supposed to be debated. And we're not supposed to do it willy-nilly. And then when you have war, you just kill people in the war zone. And even then there are rules of engagement. But interdicting drugs has always been a criminal activity and a criminal anti-crime sort of activity where we don't just summarily execute people. We actually present evidence and convict them. We have dangerous.
I actually wonder if, because the Supreme Court gave Trump immunity. I wonder if there's a way to go, because look, if you're blowing up and killing innocent people, and my guess is, I'm going to just, listen, I know some folks are going to say I'm a liberal fear-monger in this, but my guess is eventually, because they say what's done in the dark will come to the light. Eventually, it's going to come out that we kill some innocent people. I just feel confident in that. I don't believe that the president of Colombia, who stated that a couple of his citizens that were killed were fishermen and they were not Venezuelans dealing drugs or anything like that. I definitely believe it's going to come out that we kill some people. Not only that, but you hear Ryan make it clear that these boats would have to stop and refuel several times to even make it to America. So the idea that you're blowing up a small, short-range boat off the coast of Venezuela, what if a boat is taking drugs from Venezuela to Guatemala? What if it is actually hard drugs, fentanyl, going from Venezuela to Guatemala? Does America have the right to kill the people? I mean, it's no different than if somebody was taking drugs from Russia and dropping them off in Belarus or somewhere. Does America have the right to step in and murder the people because it's drugs? There's no way to prove whatsoever that these people, even if they are carrying drugs, were looking at America as their destination. When you got to factor in that what they're in doesn't even have a range to get here. You got to be able to demonstrate that they had refueling set up and all kinds of things. So I do believe that it will probably go down in history that Trump murdered some of these folks. Now, because of the immunity thing, I don't know if he can be held accountable, but I'm not going to say he cannot be held accountable, because if these other nations put out a warrant for his arrest, that's not stopping some future president from just letting him come in and grab the guy. He got immunity from America. We didn't say he couldn't come in and get him if he's a war crime. I don't know. I'm just simply saying, Trump is the king of loopholes. There are loopholes that could take him down as well. So, but I do believe that it will go down in history that we're killing innocent people. At least some of them. All of them. Now, the submarine, we could talk about the fact that you're unlikely to have a submarine if you're not doing something crooked. But even still, you got to prove the submarine was coming to America. As I just stated, if you're using a drug-laden submarine to go from Venezuela to Nicaragua, America doesn't have the right to intervene in that. Let me go back to the box. We'll continue on with Raccoon. Okay. Good evening, Raccoon. Welcome to the program. I see the request coming from Martine on Instagram. We'll bring you up. Okay, Raccoon, good evening.
How's it going, Tim? I've been watching you for a little bit. I like your stuff, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I've actually been given your name many times by some of my fellow African Americans.
Wow.
Yeah, so,
that's crazy.
Yeah. They only give me the final 4 words of it, though. They don't call me a raccoon. They drop off the R and the A.
Oh, jeez. All right. Yeah. There is some things I want to tell you and kind of give you. I think I'm going to be joining a couple more times in the future. Obviously not tonight, but I like your program. I'm going to keep watching it.
Thank you.
But I do want to give you some history about myself, and I know that chat's probably going to flame me, because it's some stuff that a lot of people don't like. But I used to be a communist. I'm now a socialist. I'm very pro-gun. I've actually helped organize the No Kings protest in Orlando, and I can tell you that we're not getting any money from anyone. All we are is just like, some of us are homeless, actually.
Wow.
Just still like putting signs up and stuff like that. If there's someone paying us in the No Kings protest, I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Because I need that paycheck ASAP.
But when you say No Kings, I think I know the answer, but I'm gonna let you tackle it. A lot of the folks on the right are saying the No Kings statement makes no damn sense, because if Trump was a king, you wouldn't be allowed to protest. What say you?
I mean, it's not obviously like a literal king thing. I don't think that he is a king. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the people on my side think. How do I say this? So I will say that a lot of people on my side are crazy. They tend to exaggerate. Or
you sound like Joe Manchin. He just referred to some of the people in the Biden administration as batshit crazy today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like Biden all too much either. I'm very critical of everyone. I just think that things are a lot worse now than before. I don't think tariffs are good. I don't think that immigration's good.
Did you vote for Kamala Harris?
Actually, I didn't. I didn't vote in that election.
Are you fucking? You were out here talking about no kings when you did nothing to stop it from happening. Really?
Yeah. The thing is, I genuinely didn't think that it was gonna be that bad. I thought because the first term with Trump, I was like, you know what? Like, it wasn't terrible. Like Trump's first term wasn't like a whole. Like, I don't know, it was chilling. Like, it wasn't.
I'm the same way. I agree with that. I feel the same way. I didn't vote for Trump, but I feel the same way. It was not terrible, and it's probably because he had actual, genuine checks and balances in place that he does not now.
Yeah, and I also think that part of it is that he was more concerned on actually running again too. So once you get that out of the way, it's like there's no point of him trying to maintain any kind of like decorum at this point. Something I will say that I've been hearing the grandma say, I hate the fact that people think that the solution to stereotyping is more stereotyping. Like, how are you going to, like, for example, in the whole like BLM thing, like, how are you going to say all cops are bastards? How are you going to say that? Like, you're going to tell me the people that went into the towers in 9/11 were bastards somehow? Obviously, like, there's racism happening in some places, but you can't just say every cop is like a terrible person.
Well, I can tell you, and I don't buy into the whole ACAB, all cops are bad thing either. But I can kind of see both sides of most issues. I'll tell you where it comes from. 99, they always say 99% of cops are good and they want to go home to their families. It's just the 1%. And I always push back by saying, if 99% of cops are good, 99% of cops also know a bad cop and has done nothing to stop or report the guy. Most cops, even the good ones, know of cops that have done something wrong and they've done nothing to help the public out by, being a whistleblower, reporting them or nothing. Yeah. So if you're a good cop, if you're a so-called good cop, and you watch your partner or your friend or another associate rough somebody up and you don't report it, are you a good cop?
I mean, ethically, I guess not, but I have heard of situations like this where it would be someone that is either a higher up. I mean, it's obviously situational. Like, some cops, like, let's say it's your boss doing this kind of stuff. You don't want to be ratting out your boss, Like, people are going to look at you as a snitch or something. I mean, if I was a cop, like, I wouldn't care, but I just don't. I'm not a cop, obviously, so, like, I really can't do anything.
But it's interesting you use the term snitch, because I was debating. Used to be a guy named Tom Sullivan on Fox. I used to call in and debate the Fox News Talk people. And he was a former state trooper back in the 70s, and he was talking about how it's hard to reduce crime in black neighborhoods and in the inner city because they don't snitch on each other and, they don't cooperate with police. And I told him exactly what I'm going to tell you about now with that snitch comment. I told him, I said, when you were a cop, y'all didn't snitch on each other either. You want people in the community to help you do your job better by snitching on each other and giving you information when you don't even snitch on bad cops either. When a cop is bad, as you just said, we don't want to snitch, so they circle the wagons, the blue wall of silence goes into place, and they let that guy stay on the force, continuing to harm other people. I'm like, how is that any different than what you're complaining about in the urban areas?
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
It is there's some things that, like, how do I word this? It's just like, I wish there was change. Like, personally, man, I don't even know where to begin with that one, but it's just, I guess it comes down to the individual, like, we should all be striving to make the world a better place. And that's what we're all doing, really, in politics. Everyone's just trying to make the world a better place from their perspective. That's why, I'm in a group, I'm not going to say the name of the group, but I'm in a group where it's very left-leaning, but we're also pro-gun. I forgot.
But wait a minute, you said you're a communist, You lean left and you're pro-gun. Is there any communist nation on earth that is pro-gun to its citizens?
From what I have read, yes, but not. I mean, you're gonna hear this a lot from my people, but like there is no such thing as like there's never been a real communist state. Because like a real communist state, so communism is a stateless, classless, moneyless society. There's never been a society in the world that doesn't have money. You know?
Why the hell would you want that?
So I'm not sure if you misheard me before, but I used to be a communist.
Oh,
I used to be a
okay.
communist.
God,
Yeah.
oh, wow.
I'm no longer aligned with that ideals. What's it called? I thought about it more. I've read about it more.
You wised up. How about this? You wised up. Mom Donnie in New York. How do you feel about him? He's not a communist. He's a socialist, but
Yeah.
he's likely to be the mayor of America's largest city. Do you support him?
I mean, I love him. Yeah, I love him. I love him. He's great. I have to read more about him. I'm not gonna lie, but from what I've seen, I like the stuff that he's proposing and he's doing.
One of my viewers is curious. What's your age?
I'm 24.
Oh well, shit. That may have a lot. You as Sharon Carpenter once said, you've only just begun. Okay, so you're still pretty young.
Yeah, I'm still learning, and I will say that I know that I find it hard to label myself at times because I know that things change. Like when I first called myself that's why when I was quote unquote a communist, I even was hesitant to call myself that because like I feel like I really need to get a bigger picture before I start labeling myself.
What made you want to? What did you see from anywhere on earth that said communist looks good? What made you want to be a communist even temporarily? What did you see from any? Go.
So in general, it was the problem with capitalism itself. There's things like, for example, we have enough food to feed, I wouldn't say the whole world, but a lot of people. If you think about it in general, look how filled our grocery stores are. And then at the end of the week, anything that's rotting gets thrown away. But even before that, things that aren't the right shape, not the right color, just gets thrown away. And not only thrown away, but bleached. So that homeless people can't even dig through the trash to get this type of food.
I think you prefer something closer to socialism than communism, though. That's what that sounds more like.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm not a communist anymore. I've talked to real communist people, and I don't think society could work in a communist. Not at least now. It's just not going to work out.
There are some that say you can't work in a socialist society either. There are plenty of people in America that don't even believe socialism would work.
There are a lot of socialist states today that work really well. If you look at like the Baltics in general, like Sweden and stuff like that, they're pretty socialist, and I mean their quality of life isn't too bad. Their taxes are high, don't get me wrong, but that's just the consequences of living in a society like that.
I tend to think that you need. I prefer capitalism, but you have to have a healthy amount of socialist oversight to it. Because if you just have pure capitalism, it's going to be the rich eating everybody else. But if you have some social, I think you need a hybrid system. I think you need a hybrid system.
100%. That's why. So I've talked to people from Sweden, and those people were actually the people who pulled me out of communism. Like they were like telling me like you need money, and they talked me through it and stuff like that. And yeah, money is an essential part of like society. Essentially, like you can't do stuff without money, and that's why communism in general doesn't work. And also, communism you can't have a classless society as well. There has to be some level of power, and someone has to have there has to be like some kind of government, in my opinion. With government there is power.
You're never going to have a group of people that do not have government. I mean, because somebody's going to be the leader. I mean, even during the Native American times when they had tribes, you still had leaders. I mean, human beings are going to form governments. They may not call it a government, but there's going to be somebody who's in charge and somebody who's following. That's just going to happen. I got to move it on, but communism probably is a toxic word in America, certainly after our long-standing fight with the Soviet Union. I'll give you the last word.
Okay, so yeah, there is one thing I want to say about communism is that a lot of people don't know what it is, and they're just ready to just be attacking it. The last thing I want to leave you before I go is something I heard on the internet. I don't know how much I want to believe this, but I'm kind of fearing this now. If think about it like this, you know all those people that they're like shooting up the boats in off the coast, they're labeling them terrorists.
Yeah.
Who is the administration also labeling terrorists?
Antifa.
Well, not only Antifa, but very left-wing groups that, my organization, yet again, I'm not going to name any names, but we have been labeled, not by the government, not by the administration yet, but like people call us terrorists all the time. And if, people just hear things and say things.
Are you concerned that other left-wing organizations or other organizations that lean left could end up being treated the same way those boats are in Venezuela?
Yes.
I am too. I don't have any pushback for that. I gotta move it on, but I'll talk about it on the other side. But I agree with that. I think that's a valid concern. Raccoon, appreciate you coming on.
It was really nice talking to you, man.
Come on back anytime. Thank you. And listen, I said that the moment President Trump listed Antifa as a terrorist outfit. I said that the minute he listed Trinidad Agua as a terrorist outfit is because we do have, our government has broad powers on what they can do to, what they've deemed as a terrorist outfit. And now that he's starting to label things in this country by way of Antifa, if you can label groups in this country as that basically means if, it could blow up things in this country like that, just like the boats off the coast of Venezuela. You're a terrorist. So it is concerning. I do have some similar concerns, maybe not as far, because I'm not a member of anything like that as my last guest, but I do share his concerns with that. Is that by labeling Americans as terrorists is giving Trump broad powers to potentially kill Americans. And in addition to that, when my last caller talked about how President Trump seems to be going after left-leaning organizations, I just wanted to chime in and say he kind of came out and said, I hate Democrats. So you should expect that. If you lean left, you should expect that the president eventually, via legislation or laws or executive powers, you should expect that there's a good chance he may do something that you don't like that goes against some of your policies, whether it's LGBTQ, immigrants, how you feel about social programs. He made it clear he hates Democrats. So things that you favor, if you lean left, expect that stuff to be the first stuff he goes after. Even when it came to the government shutdown, he made it clear, I'm targeting Democrat programs. He's making it clear he's an anti-Democrat machine. Anyway, going back to the box, the president expressing hate for the opposition is completely unacceptable. Not now, Jen Newman. Under Trump, the unacceptable has became the acceptable. According to President Trump, Democrats treated me like shit. Now that I'm president, it's going to be my goal to treat them like shit. It's all about revenge. Canada has euthanized 100,000 people now. Where the hell did you hear that, Aaron? I've never heard that. And I see in the comments, Trigger Warman says, fuck Trump. Let me go back to the box. We'll actually bring up a guest on Instagram. I think it says Carmen9, if I'm looking at that right. We haven't brought up a guest on Instagram in a while, but we are also live on Instagram. If it brings them up, we'll take them. Otherwise, we'll go back to TikTok. Tap the screen if you're on TikTok. Very lazy thumbs in. We should be around 40,000. What's up with that? Tap the screen, smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Give your boy a sub. This is Uncensored Programming. Carmen, is that what I'm reading?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
That's what you call me.
All right. What am I getting wrong tonight? What brings you up?
Well, I hit the request to join while you're talking about the Venezuelan boats.
Okay.
So there's that, and the immunity thing. and terrorist. Antifa being labeled terrorist.
Okay, let's start off with Antifa because I think that'll be the quickest. Okay, do you favor labeling Antifa as terrorists?
Favorite, yes, but it's really close to 50-50 because they are.
What is other than Chaz, when they took over, had an autonomous zone back in, I think it was either Seattle or in Portland rather, back in like 2020 during the summer of love. What have they done in recent times to be getting this kind of attention in 2025? Why are they being labeled terrorists now?
So the federal government definition of what terrorism is committing acts of violence against a civilian population with a political aim.
Yeah,
and that's.
I get that, but what have they done in recent time to say, give me some acts of political violence they've done like that in anywhere near 2025? Where's that coming from?
So the groups of protesters that show up in front of ICE buildings and agitate ICE, block the driveways for ICE buildings, unarrest people, like just being general dickheads to ICE agents because their political aim is that.
You're going to label them a terrorist because they're a dickhead? That's all it takes to be a terrorist, is being a dickhead? I mean, Howard Stern is a dickhead. I mean, Trump is a dickhead, even according to MAGA. Like, that's all it takes.
Yes, but close to 50%.
Huh?
I said I agree, yes, but close to 50% because they're interfering with just.
Is the bar that low that you just interfering with the police makes you a terrorist outfit? Who's being terrorized?
They're a little further than that.
Give me something. Give me a little bit more meat on the sandwich. This is all bread. Give me some meat. Give me something that people are actually. Give me some people that are actually.
About that.
Huh?
You know what Gangster Grandma would say about that?
Yeah. Oh no, my God! You really listening too much. But give me some. Give me some. Like if I said the KKK is a terrorist outfit, we could name people that are terrorized. I mean, if you see people walking around in sheets in your backyard at noon, at midnight, people are terrorized. Give me some people who's terrorized by Antifa. Who's scared of these people?
I think just people that show up at those protests and walk around, and then they end up not aligning with the agenda of Antifa, then they're bullied, basically pushed out of the area, threatened, etc.
I wish they would provide some examples of people that were victimized by
what the
him.
hell's that kid's name? There's like a little baby-faced journalist that like goes to these protests, records them, and just because he has a camera out, they're like, "Oh, what are you recording stuff for? Get out of here!" And they start pushing him around, physical contact. Threatening him, telling him what you're doing here is wrong, blah, 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 and not allowing him to just stand in the same area where they're standing.
I mean,
he's an equal citizen.
Yeah, but I would submit rather that if you gave MSNBC person a microphone and sent them to a Trump rally, that same shit could happen to them, and we wouldn't deem MAGA as a terrorist outfit. I mean, if you're that far to the left and you show up to a far right gathering, they're gonna treat you the same way. You're not gonna get killed, but they're gonna threaten you or they're gonna intimidate you. I don't see how that should get you on a terrorist watch list.
I disagree with that. I think CNN, MSNBC show up with their big old news camera and shove a microphone in someone's face. They might get taunted and just be like, CNN's fake news, get out of here. I don't want to talk to you.
And that's kind of what Antifa does. Do you have any examples of reporters that have actually been beaten up by Antifa?
I'm pretty sure his name's Nick Sorter is the guy he's individual journalist, shows up, he has a cameraman and a little microphone and just talks to people. And then you get your quote unquote Antifa types because they're not necessarily like wearing a uniform per se.
So then I have to ask the obvious question, then how do you know they're Antifa? If the person...
it's the black bloc uniform, so I say it's not a uniform per se, but, black bloc, just wearing straight black clothes, covering your face, being ultra aggressive to anybody that's just
based on that definition, you could kill some members of ICE. They dress in black, they cover their face, they're intimidating, they do all the stuff you just said.
Yeah.
So, and that's the point I'm trying to make is you're labeling Antifa as terrorists. How do you know? How do you really know for certain who is a member of Antifa? Anybody can put on a black outfit and a mask and fuck with people. How do you know who actually is Antifa?
That is what makes it difficult and brings it to 50-50. Because if you just say, hey, this nebulous group in America is a terrorist group, and we could just accuse you of being in a terrorist group, and yeah, that's a problem.
Right. And that's Americans now you're potentially doing that too.
I'm good at that problem.
Yeah.
I'll give you some more Antifa examples. I don't know how recent these are. This is definitely during like 2020 kind of bullshit.
You should have to, if you got to go back 5 years, that's saying something. You should be. I mean, you just labeled a whole group of people that allegedly has hundreds of members as terrorists. You should have a lot of recent examples if you're going to pin a heavy label like that. If you got to go back 5 years from a group that has this many people before you can find something, that speaks volumes. There should be plenty of modern issues that they can point to why this group is becoming such a problem that they're terrorists. If you got to go back 5 years, something's wrong with that.
There's a pretty decent effort to link the dude who shot Charlie Kirk to Antifa as well. I don't know how much I agree with that, but
Antifa in southwestern Utah?
In Utah, yes, absolutely.
No. In southwestern rural Utah, you believe Antifa's down there? In a Mormon? Yes. No. I can't see that.
Okay.
Antifa, huh? You really think that, what was his name, Tyler Robinson? You think that guy was Antifa?
I'm not 100% convinced on that. As far as Antifa types being in Utah, yes, absolutely. I will tell you as a Utah resident, yes, absolutely.
Well, and see, this is what I keep saying over and over again. If you're going to label somebody a member of a terrorist group, there needs to be something where you can point to as a true justification that they're Antifa. There is nothing. They don't carry a card. They don't have badges. They don't have IDs. They don't have a hand signal. There's no way that you can, other than if they don't tell you I am Antifa, there is absolutely no way to actually say somebody with validity is a member of Antifa.
Yeah, it's probably going to end up being things that it's going to be like the FBI researching payments, like how they make payments, where they show up at, social media history, stuff like that. And that's going to have a warrant to do that search because they are Americans.
Yeah. Well, but once you become a terrorist, you don't have the same rights as Americans.
That is kind of the problem you have with the Klan too, is because the Klan's a terrorist organization as far as most people are concerned.
They're not a terrorist organization as far as the law is concerned, though. They're not on the list as a terrorist organization that Antifa is, even though the Klan actually has hundreds of murders under their belt.
Within the past 5 years?
No, not within the past 5 years, but they've done a whole lot more damage and harm to people. They never even been mentioned by our government in conjunction with terrorism. Never even been called that.
I'm pretty sure the Klan's pretty much dying out. They probably have hundreds of members at the most, but
I don't know if I buy that. I think, as opposed to dying out, I just think they call themselves something different. Like the Tea Party is kind of died out, but most MAGA are pretty much the same as the Tea Party are. They have many of the same views as the Tea Party. So it's there. It's just called something different. There are a lot of the other white supremacist groups, for lack of a better term, a lot of them have the exact same view as the Klan. They just don't call themselves the Klan. You're the same thing, though.
Well, if you want to do name changes, I'm pretty sure there's a handful of California gangs that are white supremacist gangs that, who knows, they very easily end up on a terrorist watch group.
Yeah, but if you're a white supremacist group, I think you're kind of safe from that. Certainly under the Trump administration. I don't think the Trump administration is going to put a white supremacist group on the terrorist watch list.
I totally disagree with that.
I haven't even heard him say anything negative. You got people walking down the street with swastikas and shit like that. I haven't even heard him mention that. He don't even say nothing about it.
Yeah, there's people walking down the streets waving fucking communist flags and Antifa flags even.
Yeah, and he labeled Antifa as a terrorist outfit. He said plenty about Antifa. He don't say nothing about white supremacists. He just say, the person got autism. My heart goes out to you.
I don't think there's enough credible bullshit about white supremacism to make it like mainstream enough to get that attention.
What do you mean by credible?
Outside of like Jesse Smollett hoaxes and stuff like that.
What if the people are literally walking down the street carrying swastikas? Would you see that as white supremacists?
Carrying the flag, they probably are white supremacists, but
if you're hesitating on that, I can understand how you feel the way you do. If you're hesitating on whether a person carrying a white supremacist down an American street is a white, better yet carrying a swastika down an American street, if you're hesitating to say if that's a white supremacist or not, I can totally understand why you feel like it's not credible when people talk about white supremacists, because you don't see it. I mean, that's all the Nazis were about, was white supremacy. So if you're carrying their flag, how could you be denoted as anything else?
Or are you a terrorist? I mean, you're a guy with stupid ideas, but are you a terrorist?
Was the Nazis terrorists?
Yeah, I think you could probably hit that. I don't think
probably.
Then they're just straight. They're the enemy. We didn't have to call them terrorists. We just said they were an actual immediate enemy of America. And like that clip you played with Rand Paul earlier, we went to Congress and declared war against them.
We've declared war against the Venezuelans?
No, against Nazis. World War II.
Well, yeah, they had already declared war against us. I get that. But what I'm saying, well, let's just be clear. First of all, if it is a sovereign nation, it's never going to be called the terrorist outfit. It's going to be, if a sovereign nation commits an act of terrorism, it's going to be referred to as a war crime. It's the same thing. But if America does what Al Qaeda does, they just call it a war crime. They're not going to call America a terrorist nation, because a lot of things that are happening in Gaza by way of Israel, that stuff would be known as terrorism, but they just call it a war crime. It's the same thing, though.
Well, in Israel or Gaza, they kind of say, like, we're not fighting the Gazans or whatever. We're fighting Hamas, the terrorist organization that's taken over your country. And they refer to what Hamas does to Israel as acts of terrorism, not war crimes.
Right. 90% of the structures are blown up in Israel. I mean, that's like saying you're fighting Antifa, you're not fighting the people of Portland, but 90% of the city is destroyed. There's not enough Antifa there for that much damage. There's not enough Hamas in Gaza for you to destroy 90% of the town or of their land. I mean, you're obviously hitting. If one perceived member of Hamas goes into school, the whole school gets blown up, and somehow, we're chasing Hamas, even though all of the kids are in the school as well.
But there's a high-profile case where Israel bombed a hospital because they claimed Hamas had a cave under the hospital or some shit.
Yeah, that's a war crime. That would be a war crime if America done that. That's why when we fought in Iraq, we were avoiding mosques and places like that. Even if the bad guy, listen, if you were to go out and commit a major felony and you grab a child as a hostage, that don't give the police the right to shoot you through the child. They're supposed to have some type of effort to try to talk you down or something like that. Israel is just like, fuck it. If Hamas is near you, then you're fair game.
I kind of feel like it depends on how imminent the larger threat is.
It's got to be pretty damn imminent, and there is no immediate imminent threat to Israel from Hamas. They don't have to destroy innocent people to get to them. They're not able to put up that kind of a fight, not this late in the game, and they're still doing it.
I hope that's the case. I kind of feel like they're defeated enough. I don't understand why Israel can't just, get online and walk through Gaza and just arrest basically everybody, put them all on trial. I'm like, you're innocent, get the fuck out of here.
Because that's not the goal.
You're going to death.
Because some would say that's not the goal. They would suggest that maybe genocide is the actual choice. I got to move it on, though. I appreciate you coming through, man. Anytime.
Cool.
Come on back.
Sure and get out of here for you.
Thank you. Come on back anytime. Anyway, looking in the comments, folks, I'll let you go ahead and drop there. More than half of those, it says more than half those loser you guys are tired of paying for are your Republican brothers and sisters. Are you talking to somebody in the comments? You're going to tell people from a different life, a different walk, and a different culture that your laws and your belief systems are what's right. That's kind of the American way, William. I agree with you, but that is what America does all the time, is we go to other countries and tell them you need to live like us. Wasn't the Vietnam War to stop the spread of communism? I mean, we're telling them they should be like us. I mean, we do that all the time. That's kind of the American way. With people like other people mocking MLK's murder, I'm sure it happened, Paul. I am absolutely certain that if they mocked what happened to Nancy Pelosi's husband, I'm certain that when Martin Luther King got murdered back in that day, just like the Emmett Tills and all, they mocked all of that shit. I'm pretty sure we just were not around in that time, but I can assure you that there were plenty of people who wanted MLK to be murdered and were happy when it happened and were mocking it. I'm sure it happened. Let me go back to the box. Continuing on with the program. We'll go to the one and only MAGA Reacts. Good evening, Mac. Thank God we got rid of USAID. It used to be Christianity. They changed it. Huh? MAGA, good evening.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much at all. Now, we're talking about what's going on off the coast of Venezuela. Is it wrong to question Trump? Is it Trump derangement syndrome? Should you just take everything he's saying at face value? Is it wrong to ask questions about these people that are being killed and the notion that they're carrying drugs, when you got Paul Ryan making it clear that fentanyl is not even known to come from Venezuela?
No, it's not wrong to question him. What's wrong, the Trump derangement, is when you answer the question, and the answer to that question is the worst thing you could possibly think of.
Is it wrong that he ain't providing you answers so that you got to make up your own? Why can't he provide some of that? I mean, they've blown up 8 boats, and we don't even know the name of one single person on. I mean, they've blown up probably about 20, 30 people by now. We don't know the name of a single person. We don't know what drugs they were carrying or anything. We're just being told it's a drug vessel.
Do you want him to compromise U.S. intelligence in Venezuela and Colombia?
Well, just like you said Trump derangement syndrome is wrong when you just automatically assume the worst. When you start talking about it's okay to hide information because it might compromise some, you don't know that. You're just automatically assuming the best. You're kind of doing the exact opposite of what you're complaining about with Trump derangement. You don't know if anything is up for risk of being compromised. You're kind of just filling in the blanks with that.
I'm hoping for the best. And when I say compromise our sources, that's just common sense. I mean, I'm sure, it's not like the U.S. where we have, cell phones that we could hack and shit. I'm sure they have somebody snitching in Colombia. And if they start naming, I don't know.
You can't show one picture of.
That's the reason. It's the reason they used to give us before.
Yeah, but you can't show one picture. You can't show one picture of somebody who was deceased that maybe had a criminal history of dealing drugs, or a picture of somebody loading keys onto a boat. You can't show anything. I mean, without compromising something. And we can show what's going on in Iraq while we're actually at war. You can't show nothing out of Venezuela.
Well, the difference is Iraq is on land. Have you ever tried to retrieve something from the ocean? Do you have any experience with the ocean? I'm here in Miami.
MAGA, the product originally was on land. If you're shooting them in the water, you had to know they were doing something on land. You didn't just, your first time seeing them was not in the water. Otherwise, you don't know if they got fish or drugs on the boat. So you had to see them on land at some point.
I go back to my first thing. If you're gonna share pictures of if you have a spy on land and he took pictures and you share them, you're gonna give up your spy. You're gonna lose that spy really quick because they're gonna figure out who snitched.
Not necessarily considering that all the people you're showing a picture of are dead. I mean, that's if I'm running drugs for you, let's say you're a drug kingpin.
I'm assuming they didn't kill their spy. And I'm assuming the 6 people on the boat are not the entire cartel.
Have you ever seen? I mean, we've caught a lot of drug dealers. I mean, we're talking about the Pablo Escobars and Noriegas. Have you ever seen us kill a drug dealer before Trump's administration where we couldn't show you or tell you anything after the person was dead?
Not on the water. I don't think we've ever killed them on the water like this before. On land, sure. I mean, that's how we got, like you said, Escobar.
Yeah, we've never killed anybody like this before because generally, as Ryan pointed out...
Not that I know of. Let me just add, not that I know of, because, we always say shit like that, and then I hit Google 5 minutes later, and I find like 20 examples.
Well, and that's possible, but the reason why you haven't heard anything like this, because as Paul Ryan rightfully pointed out, We've never
Because
used.
nobody cared before.
No, it's not that nobody cared. We've never viewed dealing drugs as an automatic death sentence on the spot. We've always brought the people in for justice. This is the first time where
We've had a war on drugs since the 80s.
And
we only bring in the big guys for justice.
Who was getting automatically killed without getting into a firefight or anything with the government? Who else were they shooting on sight back in the 80s?
I mean, I hate to use Narcos as an example, but I'm sure a lot of the lower level people were just killed. I don't know. I'm not an expert.
So you're saying during
what you do? These are like your little debate tactics. You ask me stuff I should have no reason to know. Why would I know this?
Because you sound like you're defending it.
I'm not defending it. You're asking me questions, and I'm answering the questions the best I can.
I asked you a simple question. Should the Trump administration at least give us a name of who they're killing or where they were going to drop the drugs off of, what cartel they were? Give us anything. All you're showing us is somebody dying on camera.
In time, they might. This is like day 2. I mean, this is what, the second month? And like they really amped it up the last like week. I'm sure in time they'll give us more stuff.
What makes you say that? What makes you feel? I mean, we see what happened with the 20. We see what happened with
they like to answer questions.
We see what happened with the 2020 election. They ain't gave us nothing on that yet. It's been 5 years.
Because we can't access because elections are secret. They can't open them up and look at your vote.
Then if you can't see anything, then how the hell could you make all the claims he did?
No, I can't see anything when it comes to elections, but now you always switch the subject to shit that like a little black hole.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Keep it something I could actually answer.
Okay, what brought you up? Because I don't know where you're going.
With the elections again, I've done that with you too many times. Come on.
Okay, the point I'm still sticking to is it wrong for the people to demand something other than a picture of people dying?
No, it's not. You can demand all you want, and you'll get it. Especially
How do you feel confident? Why do you feel so confident in
get
that?
it with the Freedom of Information Act.
Freedom of Information Act works internationally?
It works for anything our government does after 25 years. Especially
so we'll get the information when Trump turns 105.
Basically. I mean, that's how it works with a lot of things. I mean, it's crazy that we're getting this stuff as fast as we're getting it today. Because you keep bringing up the 80s, the 60s, all this shit in the past. You know, the Nazis and all that. They were not getting information as fast as we are. Hell, like, their fucking governments were not getting information as fast as we are.
Why do you think, you mentioned the Freedom of Information Act, and we'll get this information possibly in 25 years. Why do you think the Trump administration is not going to give it to us, possibly until we get it from the Freedom of Information Act?
I can't predict the future. I don't have a time machine. I don't know. They might tell us everything tomorrow.
Trump's
time. I mean, if it's election time and they still haven't told us, feel free to vote against them.
Trump suggested he is the most transparent president in history. Do you agree?
Yes, he's very transparent, but he's doing so much shit that there's like he's transparent in amount of shit he's sharing with us. But maybe his transparency rate isn't that high because he does so much shit. But he shares more with he's on TV every day sharing shit with us. Yeah, how much more transparent do you want him to do?
Well, if you're on TV every day saying things that don't come true, I don't think I would categorize that as transparency. A lot of the stuff he said,
none of it comes true?
Well, a lot of it don't. A whole lot of things he said. He told us he was being transparent about the White House edition. That was not going to touch the White House. It was only going to cost $230 million. And now we see the East Wing getting torn down, and he said it's costing $300 now. So whatever he said in the beginning was not transparent.
Because people change their mind all the time, and he can't predict the future. If he had a time machine, he will share with you exactly what's going to happen. But, you know, people change, things change. You find out things, you find out that, you know, the cabinet has mold or something and that you need to spend more money fixing it. I mean, things change all the time. I mean, you're mad that he can't predict the future. Like, what kind of shit is that? Like,
he tore it out East Wing because it had mold. What's next?
I don't know, man.
The Lincoln bedroom got bed bugs next. Mold.
How many houses have you renovated, and how many of them stayed under budget? Because every time I try to do something like that, I ended up paying more money.
He tore it out East Wing because it has mold. Wow, I mean, listen, I'm going to give you the Spin Meister Award of the Year for spinning the system. The White House has mold.
But that's an example. I've had that happen to me before. I had an estimate, and then we started the work, and there was mold. And guess what? That cost me more money to fix.
Let me tell you something. Even us average citizens don't tear down our homes over mold. You can address mold without tearing down a house.
You don't live in fucking Florida, buddy.
And neither is the White House. The White House ain't in Florida either.
I don't know how it is in Washington, but I know here in Florida, I tore down a bunch of walls and shit because of mold.
Okay, well, you're not doing that in Washington, D.C. You don't need to tear down the whole East Wing because you got mold.
Mold is just one example. It could be something else in the Washington.
But think about what we're doing. You said mold could be one example. It could be something else. The most transparent president in history. Notice that we don't know why he did it. If he's so transparent, why don't we know what it is?
It's been a week. Give him some time. I'm sure in time we'll find out everything.
So we should wait till he tears it down first and then hope he tells us why he did it. Wouldn't the proper order be to tell folks, listen, there's an outrageous amount of mold. I've determined the only hope for this, we're going to tear this down and rebuild. Wouldn't it be better to tell the people before you tore the place down?
Not really. He's more get it done first. I mean, this is what he's actually good at. So I'm surprised you're even like talking about it.
He's good at.
This is the one thing I could definitely trust Trump to do, to remodel something and to build something.
Yeah, I agree with you. We can trust him to tear it down and remodel and rebuild because that's what he did as a real estate guy. But the problem is you're having the White House redecorated by an 80-year-old dude. It ain't like he's calling in some French designer that's gonna give this shit gonna come from him. You're going to get an 80-year-old remodel. So your shit going to be looking like Mr. Furley lives there. I don't know if I want to go with that with an 80-year-old.
Hey, I'm with you, too. I'm not a big fan of all the gold.
Yeah.
But I don't predict the future. I don't know if it's going to turn out shit or it's going to turn out really good. I have no idea. I try not to predict the future, especially when it comes to shit like this that doesn't really affect my life in any way.
Yeah, but
also, back to the Venezuela thing, I know one thing. Like, I know the carrier that he's sending over there is overkill and all the shit he's doing is overkill. But guess what? I bet money that cartel is scared to shit right now. And they're going to think twice about using boats to smuggle
you know something? You could be right about the cartel being concerned, but I'll tell you something else. A lot of American citizens should be concerned as well because we can easily overpower the cartel. But fact is, the cartel has a lot of tentacles. If they know this dude is going to kill us anyway, then they go scorched earth. The cartel could take, you're talking about real Antifa. You want to talk about some real people with real power to be terrorists rather? The cartel, if you're going to just take me out anyway, fuck it. I'm going to have my minions go out and do all kinds of damage. The cartel could do all sorts of damage.
You're missing my whole point. My whole point is the fear is worth more than the actual killing. Doesn't matter if he kills 1 or 1,000. That fear of having a carrier looking for you, a fucking United States carrier with a fucking jets and missiles that you can't see, that'll kill you from like across the country.
I agree with that. But you didn't hear what I said. I'm saying I don't disagree with that. But what I'm saying is if I know you're going to kill me anyway, regardless, I'm giving the order. Then fuck it. Everybody's fair game. I mean, there's got to be some distant relative that this guy loves. I mean, everybody's fair game at this point. They're going to take me out any damn way. He didn't call me to negotiate. Fuck it. If you can, anything you can get your hands on, fair game.
I could just lay low because if you kill Americans, he's going to fucking come back with an even bigger vengeance.
He's there with aircraft carriers, MAGA. How much bigger can it get? He's already there.
Yeah, aircraft carriers are on the water. These people are on land. This is the part we keep getting.
He's not only there with carriers, but he's made it clear that he's considering going on land too. He's not trying to negotiate with the cartel. He's talking about killing them. So fuck it. If you're going to do what you're going to do, then I might as well get a little bit of get back on the way out.
We'll see. Again, I don't agree with it. I'm just answering your questions. But the one last thing I want to say that you guys kept getting wrong, you kept talking about how like Venezuela and Colombia doesn't produce any fentanyl. I mean,
that ain't me. That's Paul Ryan saying that. That's Paul Ryan saying that. That ain't me. That's Paul Ryan saying that they don't produce any fentanyl.
So one of your callers said it earlier. But yeah, also that guy. But you know, like my friend who died of fentanyl him and his girlfriend bought cocaine and it was laced with fentanyl, and that's why they died. People who buy fentanyl have a tolerance to it, and they usually are okay. But the ones that don't do fentanyl, that buy cocaine and other drugs, and they end up getting it laced with fentanyl, those are the ones that die.
But that's not the argument, MAGA. Listen, nobody's arguing about the lethality of fentanyl. We know it's lethal. I get that. The argument is that Venezuela has never been known as a country to produce the shit. Out of all of those countries south of the border, Mexico produces more fentanyl than Venezuela. You've never seen any kind of Scarface-like movie that uses Venezuela as where the drugs are coming from. It's always Nicaragua or Panama or Cuba.
It's from Colombia, but Venezuela's right next door.
Yeah, but if your goal is to stop drugs from coming into America, you would never start with Venezuela. There's a lot of other countries that send a lot more shit to this country than you could take Venezuela off the map. You could take Venezuela off the map, and Americans will still be getting fucked up because that ain't where it's coming from.
Listen, I agree with you, but I'm just saying, like they were talking about cocaine like it's harmless. I mean, it gets laced with fentanyl all the time.
And I repeat, we're not arguing whether cocaine and fentanyl is lethal. I get that. I agree the Trump administration
They're saying their whole point was cocaine's not lethal, so why is he there?
Okay, well, I'm not. That ain't what we're arguing here. Even if it's not lethal, it still fucks up lives and stuff like that.
That's how I understood it.
Okay,
that you're saying, hey, cocaine's not lethal. Leave them alone because it's only cocaine.
Yeah. Arguing about the lethality is not the question. The question is, if you're really focused on stopping this stuff, why are you starting with Venezuela? Like I said, you could turn that country into a sheet of glass, and people would still have no problem getting fucked up because it ain't coming from there. Why are you starting? That's like starting
the country. He's attacking the waterways. Now, if he invades actual Venezuela, you'll have him. I agree with you 100%. But if it's only the water and Colombia,
I don't even know why
the drugs come from, and that's how the drugs are transported.
I don't even know why he started with Venezuela. To me, that's just like claiming you're sending the National Guard to reduce crime, and you start off with fucking Portland. I mean, Portland is so far down the list in terms of most violent U.S. cities. Portland? Venezuela, it makes it clear you're not dispatching the National Guard or these aircraft carriers based on what you're saying. It's obviously something else because it makes no sense to start in those places.
But all these places are next to each other. Colombia, Venezuela.
Then go to the bad place.
It's all the Gulf of America or Gulf of Mexico, whatever you want to call it.
Next to each other. That's like you actually sending the police to do a no-knock warrant on my house because a neighbor is a drug dealer. What the hell does being next to me mean? They got shit to do with it. Go to the country that's actually doing it. No. Next to you.
It's like having a cop car down the street from you because your neighbor's a drug dealer. I mean, why is that cop car down at the end of the street? It's not because of you, but your neighbor's a drug dealer. So guess what? If you end up speeding, you're going to get a ticket too, or you're going to, if you do something wrong, you're going to get arrested too.
And that's not going to do anything for you.
Blowing up your neighborhood.
Right. And doing that ain't going to stop nothing from the guy moving product. I'm just simply saying Venezuela is not where this shit is coming from. Starting in Venezuela is not going to do anything. The war on drugs, which took a much bigger stance on trying to tackle drugs, that shit didn't even work. What Trump is doing, you might as well just take taxpayer money and set it on fire. If your goal is to stop fentanyl, what Trump is doing, it's not going to have any effect at all because, like they all say, Mexico and China produces far more of that shit, and he's not focused on those countries. He's going to Venezuela.
I guess I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, the results are going to speak for himself. If he fails, guess what? He's going to get voted out in the midterm and in the next election. So let him do his thing, and if he fails, he fails, and you vote for the better guy.
You never let it. If you feel like if you feel like the president is doing something wrong, you never quote unquote let them do their thing. You're going to question and criticize of why it's happening. MAGA, I gotta move it on, but go next to the country.
One last thing I want to say though, like
real
lot
quick,
of shit you're saying about this shit didn't work in the past. I mean, the 1980s is not like today. Even what what's his name Reagan was saying about tariffs. I mean, that was true in the 1980s. That's not true today because our fucking industries are already not competing. They're already being subsidized by the government, and shit's already fucked up. Yeah. So all that shit Reagan's saying doesn't apply today because we've already fucked everything up. If it's not by tariffs, by subsidies and other regulation, we've already fucked everything up.
That's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different conversation. I disagree with you 100%, but I got to move it on. I got to move it on. All right, move it. And by the way, in regards to his comment that what Reagan said in the 80s doesn't compare to what happened today. Remember, Reagan also brought up it didn't work in the Great Depression. So what Reagan was also pointing out is that tariffs didn't work like 60 years before he became president. I don't believe the fact that it's 2025 is going to all of a sudden make tariffs at the level that Trump is doing them all of a sudden going to work. I believe what Reagan said, in my humble opinion, applies today. I believe it is just as valid today as when it was when he said it. My last caller disagrees. Looking in the comments though, an alter ego, appreciate you supporting the program and becoming a super fan. Thank you for supporting the program. And those who are helping your boy get the hat and mustache goal. Thank you there, Big Dog, I think it was. Appreciate that. Looking in the comments, I see your comment, Magarack said it's a much faster world. Yeah, but it was a much faster world in the 1980s compared to the Great Depression in the 1920s that he used as an example then. So speed is not going to change damaging relationships through terrorists. The rabble, the guy in the clip you used was Rand Paul. Now, yeah, okay, there we go. Not Paul Ryan. Fair enough. Thank you. Rand Paul. I always get it. Ron Paul, Rand Paul, Paul Ryan. I always confuse their names. One of them is the old guy. One of the guys is really old, but I always confuse all of their names there. I know he's a senator out of Kentucky. I'll just say that. Tap the screen. Get your boy likes on up. As always, help your boy out. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 50. FIDDY, 50,000. We can make that happen on this late night live. Reagan said short-term targeted tariffs could work. Yeah, I don't think that's what Trump is doing, though. Trump's terms are not short-term. I mean, that shit's permanent. So, and here's the problem also with Trump's tariffs compared to anything Reagan's talking about. Trump, they're not consistent. You get into an argument with Trump. Your prime minister says something he don't like, and the tariffs can change. I mean, when Brazil they actually did prosecute him, not attempted to, but they had one of their former leaders staged a coup. Trump liked the guy. Trump liked the guy from his first term. So he staged a coup in Brazil and they prosecuted him. Trump didn't want him prosecuted. Because they prosecuted him anyway, Trump raised the tariffs of Brazil up. That ain't got nothing to do with the trade imbalance, the relation. I mean, he just used tariffs as a weapon. You can't plan or do anything as a business owner based on a president that changes tariffs like that. Just solely based on emotion. Just like him canceling the trade talks with Canada. He canceled the trade talks with Canada based on a commercial they played on TV. That's you can't predict anything when you got somebody that is radical. Like he always talked about the radical left. That is radical as hell. You decided to cancel trade talks because you didn't like a commercial they put on TV. If anybody on the left done that, they'd be called a snowflake. Looking in the comments, Trump's tariffs are tools for him to extort other countries for his own financial benefit. I believe there's plenty of that happening. I do believe there's plenty of that happening. Because listen, if you move the tariffs you're imposing on a whole nation, even by a 0.5%, that could mean millions of dollars. I won't make that 0.5% if you donate, a couple million to my campaigns. It's a drop in the bucket. A couple million to my cryptocurrency or something of that nature. I believe that. I actually believe that. He's a wheeler and dealer. I actually believe he is, because with Brazil, he's using terrorists as a weapon. So I do believe he's using it for other forms of leverage. I really would like to know how you would stop fentanyl from coming into the country if we use fentanyl in certain medicines and it is made in the United States as well. You're trying to stop black market or illicit fentanyl from coming in the country. It ain't going to be easy. I'll just say that. It's not going to be easy. And certainly it's not going to be easy when you're going after a country that ain't even known for producing most of it. It's not going to be easy. If you really wanted to stop fentanyl from coming into the country, you would go after the countries that are most likely to send it to America. Trump ain't going after any of those countries. He's not bombing boats off the coast of China, off the coast of Mexico. To me, what he is doing is just bullying a country that he knows can't really do shit back. We'll see how that works, as MAGA React said. Anyway, going back to the box, tap the screen, get your boy up to 50,000. A lot of lazy thumbs in here. We'll take the next caller at 40. I do need you guys to tap the screen, get the likes up. Feel free to smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body. Regardless of the opinions you're hearing, we are MAGA friendly. Always have been MAGA friendly. Always will be MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. We go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anyone on this program, including yours truly. This is Friday Night Politics. I do want you guys to hear what we are actually talking about, because President Trump you heard Rand Paul, somebody corrected me. You heard Rand Paul state that, he stated that what Trump is doing, in his opinion, is wrong. But I wanted to give you a Trump clip, and somehow, some way, the damn computer just froze up. We'll move it on until this shit gets right. But there we go. I think it happened there. But looking in the comments, speak about Project 2025. Speak about the 40 billion.
President, if you are declaring war against these cartels and Congress is likely to approve of that process, why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay, we're going to kill them. They're going to be like dead. Okay.
First thing I want to say is a lot of Americans get caught with drugs, abroad. You ever watch the show Banged Up Abroad or Locked Up Abroad? Depends on what country you're in. It's called Banged Up Abroad overseas. It's called Locked Up Abroad in America. Would we tolerate somebody murdering an American citizen because they caught him with drugs on them? I bet you we wouldn't be okay with that. Maybe if it was Brittany Griner, I don't think the right would give a damn if Russia executed her. But my guess is, if other countries that caught Americans with drugs on them executed them on the spot, no due process or anything, don't even send your family over here to try to hire a lawyer or anything. He's already dead. We found something on him and we killed him on the spot. I don't think Americans would be okay with that. I really don't. No due process or anything. All of a sudden, your son or your daughter goes over to Cancun on spring break, and the next thing you know, you're getting a call from a U.S. ambassador in Mexico telling you, unfortunately, your son or daughter was caught with some narcotics on them, and I'm calling to inform you they have executed them. I don't think America would be okay with that. I really don't. You mean he doesn't get a court date? We don't get a chance to prove his innocence? We can't hire a lawyer? They've already killed him? I don't think America will be okay with that. I really believe that it's only okay because we're killing others. Same thing with guns. Just like we're talking about, their drugs kill a lot of Americans. Our guns kill a lot of people south of the border. A lot of the firearms that the cartel owns, they only got them because America produces a lot of that shit. I do not believe that an American caught breaking their law like that, whether it's, there are plenty of Americans that have went into Mexico with a gun on him. I think we had a Marine that President Trump made a big stink about bringing back home because he got caught in Mexico with a firearm on him that he claimed he accidentally didn't realize he had on him. Well, their law strongly says if you've been anywhere near Mexico, which I have and been into Mexico, there's big signs everywhere that tells you severe penalties for carrying a gun into Mexico. Even ammunition, you can get in trouble. Can you imagine if they had have advised us that that Marine has already been executed? At customs, we went through his bags. Turns out he had a Glock on him. We had to take his life. That's what we do. We wouldn't be okay with that. We would not be okay if other countries did to our criminals in their countries what Trump is doing to those folks. We would not be okay with that. Anyway, looking in the comments, forget about that. How about being on that boat and saying you was just going up into the ocean, enjoying your vacation, and the military just blew up your boat, and you're from the United States? Another example of it. We would not be okay with someone doing any of the things that Trump is doing to them folks. Even an American off the coast of Miami that actually had drugs on board. We would not be okay if Cuba or the Bahamas or some of them other countries just blew them up. We would not be okay with it. We would have a big problem with that. No due process, can't even prove the guy had drugs on him. You didn't even know who he was. You just blew him up. We would not be okay with that. I think that we've already committed with the nation of Venezuela and maybe even Colombia to a lesser degree, an act of war. Let me go back to the box. We've crossed the 40 thou. Gen X, fuck around and find out. There was already a family killed that hasn't been talked about. The family was mistaken and have drugs, and they didn't, and ICE killed them when they were fishing. Why is ICE killing people? Really? Now, Gen X, now you obviously support Trump. Do you support blowing up these boats?
How you doing, Pookie? How the hell you gonna sit here fluffing for Rand Paul? You know the man name is Rand Paul, not Paul Ryan. But you bluffing. I'm gonna get you some knee pads, Pookie.
Okay, I get the gangster grandma impression, but I'm asking, would we be okay with what we're doing to them? Would we tolerate somebody doing that to us?
Well, I think there's a big difference.
What's
They're
the
bringing
difference?
drugs into our country. Rand Paul sat there and said, well, they have to stop 20 times for fuel. You ever hear of a thing called a gas can?
You wait a minute.
Do you know how much fuel?
Hold
Do you
on.
know how much fuel a small boat takes?
Yeah.
5 gallons.
Well,
What small boats are using to have 5 gallons, a 40-gallon tank.
You think that those boats are? Hold on. You think that
argument
you think that those boats are carrying enough auxiliary fuel to make a 1,700-mile trip?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you
They might
imagine?
stop once.
Can you imagine what a boat filled with that much fuel would look like? The secondary explosion would make it obvious they're carrying a lot of fuel. You didn't see that on any of those videos. The water would be burning if they had that much fuel on them.
Dude, the water was burning.
No, it's
Everything
not.
was burning
No.
within 100 yards of them.
No, it's not. If you've seen any of the roadside, what they call them, insurgents, or when they're playing roadside bombs and somebody take them up from the, if you've seen what a secondary explosion looks like, you would know if those boats had that much fuel on them, because they're still off the coast of Venezuela, so they still have at least 1,500 more miles to travel. If they had that much gas on them, you would know for a fact that this missile just hit some sort of a equivalent of an oil tanker. There would be fire burning like crazy.
You're exaggerating.
No, I'm not.
That's what makes me nuts about you, Tim. Dude, a fucking oil tanker is nothing like a small boat loaded with a bunch of 5-gallon things of fuel. The munitions they're using incinerate almost everything instantly on a fucking military vessel. You're talking a small speedboat that's maybe, 25 feet? It's not even as big as a fishing boat.
Do you realize how much gas? Do you realize how much fuel you would have to carry on that boat to make it to the United States? You wouldn't even have room for people. You would probably have to drag another small craft behind it to carry. That's not an exaggeration, Gen X. 1,700 miles. You're not doing that. You're just, I mean, just imagine your car, which gets about 400 miles or so for a fill up. How much extra
They're
fuel?
also not traveling. They're also not traveling with fucking 50 people on board. They've got 3 or 2. They've got plenty of room to pack drugs and fuel.
You know how
those are their 2 main cargoes on those boats.
And I see Mike says, I blame you. You chose. I'm just going to tell you the weight of all that liquid on that boat. It just ain't happening. What you're saying to me is outrageous. There's no way that they're leaving the coast of Venezuela with enough fuel to make it all the way to America on a boat that size. It just ain't happening.
Well, I never said they were making it all the way to America, but what Rand Paul said was they would have to stop so many times. No, they wouldn't. If they've got fuel containers, they might have to stop twice. Might.
Okay,
because that would leave them enough space for all the dope that they're bringing in, which again is not the fentanyl was not coming from fucking Venezuela. But you know who's got very close military ties, political ties with Venezuela? China. Guess what's in China? A whole lot of fentanyl.
Here's the problem, Gen X. If they're leaving the coast of Venezuela, which is like 1,700 miles away from the U.S. mainland, how can you be 100% certain they're headed to America? Maybe they're handing off to drug dealers who want to supply Mexico with fentanyl or want to supply Guatemala or Honduras. Why is America down there doing that? There's no guarantee that those ships are coming to America.
Are those drugs legal in Honduras?
It doesn't matter. It's not a...
No, I'm asking the question. Yes or no?
Probably not.
Then we're doing them a favor.
But they didn't ask for it, though. No, listen. Those drugs are not legal in China. You don't blow up boats off the coast of China while we're doing you a favor. No, you're not doing a favor because you ain't even proving that you're taking out drug vessels. We don't know what you took out. You didn't show us anything.
So have you seen the intelligence?
That's the problem. Ain't nobody seen shit.
Okay, so the answer would be no. You haven't seen the intelligence.
No, but I have heard the president of Colombia say that some of the people they killed were his citizens. We're being told they're all Venezuelans. The president of Colombia said you killed...
exporter on the planet? Sorry, not going to believe him.
Wait, say that again?
The biggest cocaine exporter on the planet? And I'm going to believe the fucking Colombian president?
But you do realize America. You do realize America lies a lot too, though. So it ain't like America has the hierarchy or some type of level above Colombia. We lie. And Trump lies a lot, but I'm not even just talking about Trump. I'm talking about America as a whole, from weapons of mass destruction on down. How can we say that Colombia can't be trusted when we can't either?
You're pivoting.
How?
Well, what does America lying have to do with Colombia lying about a fucking boat getting blown up? Absolutely nothing. And that's what I'm talking about, brother. You know I love you. We've known each other for years.
Okay.
But come on, bro. Come on.
No, this ain't got nothing to do with the bromance. What I'm simply saying is, if Colombia says you're killing its citizens, and you say, well, Colombia lies, we can't trust them, and America says we're killing Venezuelans, my point is, you can't trust Americans either. We lie too.
Well, maybe we're killing Colombians who are fucking exporting drugs.
Wouldn't this be easier if we actually just show...
That are leaving from Venezuela.
Right.
How close is Venezuela from fucking Colombia?
Wouldn't this be easier, Gen X, if we actually showed folks who's getting killed, maybe showed the guy loading a bunch of keys or all that gasoline? If we could show people loading a bunch of gasoline on the boat, maybe this would be a little bit easier if we could actually show some of our work as opposed to just showing people die on TV.
Now, here's where we agree, and you don't even know this. Here's where we agree. I think we should be shown the intelligence.
Thank you.
I think, to be fair, we should be shown the intelligence. But like in any active investigation, which this is an ongoing investigation, we're not going to know till after the fact.
How are
if
you
want to bitch? I'll bitch with you 3 months after the fact.
How is this an active? Wait.
I'll be like, yeah, well, they needed to show us why they were killing people.
How are you doing an active investigation on a dead guy? You killed him already. The investigation is over with.
No, the intelligence will tell the story, is what I'm saying.
Right. To me, it's going to be just like the 2020 election. I guess the truth will eventually come out. I don't believe you're going to get any more than you're getting now. You have a little bit more faith in Trump than I do, but I'm simply saying, based on a lot of other things he's claimed, Obama's wiretapping his office and all this kind of shit. Trump has a history of saying wild shit without ever proving any validity to it. I don't believe anything's going to come out of this other than what we've seen. People dying with no identity. I don't think you're going to get any of that stuff.
All right, well, I got a lot of beefs with you. Let's move on to tariffs.
All right. Give me what you got.
How much has the government collected in tariffs this fiscal year? Just this fiscal year.
But I'm going to give you the same thing I just told you about Trump, where you can't really. I don't trust Trump numbers. The guy weighs 230 pounds and he is fit as Jason Momoa. I don't know how much they collected. The guy lies a lot.
Here, let me help you out. We've collected over 174 billion in tariff revenues for this fiscal year.
Source.
Monthly tariff collections have exceeded 30 billion since August 2025.
Source.
You know how much of an increase that is from prior years?
Source.
And these collections are mainly due to tariffs and duties imposed by the Trump administration.
Source.
So
what is your source for that number? What is that? What is your source for that collected amount of revenue?
Hold on, I'll give you a source. Can I post it in your thing? Oh, no, I can't because I'm talking to you on TikTok on my phone. And just
hold on. I'll Google the number you gave me, and it should give me some sources that tell me what you're telling me. Hang on a second.
How much of Trump's tariff has the United States made today?
What is it? How did you phrase it? How did you frame that? How much? What did you say again?
How much of Trump's tariffs made the United States today?
That is not grammatically worded right. How much of Trump's tariffs?
How much of Trump's tariffs made the United States today?
Okay.
That's very simple.
Okay, that ain't what you said first. Okay, made the United States today. How much of Trump's tariffs made the United States today? Okay, that's what I typed in. I got a tariff tracker, pile.com. Is that your source? It says altogether Trump's imposed tariffs would raise 2.4 trillion in revenue over the next decade. So, I mean, that's over the next.
How much have they made this fiscal year? 174 billion. It's what they've already made. That's the track record.
Here's the problem, though, Gen X. Where is that money coming from?
Again, you're pivoting.
No, I'm not.
That's not.
No.
If you the argument is what he's actually made.
No, because
you guys are saying that he's got the tariffs, he's not making shit, he's not doing anything.
No, hold on, hang on. That's like your child coming in the house and said, I made a bunch of money today. You go, where did it come from? And you find out he took it from under your money drawer. Okay, if you're getting the money from the American people, I don't know if that's a gain. That's why I said, who's paying those tariffs? Where's the money coming from?
Tariffs are made from other countries. So your argument is illegitimate.
So when we raise tariffs
does not make your money from you.
So when we raise tariffs on other countries, they don't do nothing in return. It's just business as usual on their side.
They've already been tariffing us. That's what you guys don't understand. We were the most tariffed country on the planet. And Trump said this is unfucking fair.
And so I'm asking you.
You understand when this country was first founded, our main source of revenue was tariffs?
Right, but what I'm asking you,
up through the 1800s?
I get all that. I heard all that from Trump, but what I'm saying is when Trump said the tariffs were unfair and he raised our tariffs on other countries to make us money, you're saying the other countries didn't do nothing? They just left theirs at the same?
You know why he raised the tariffs?
You didn't answer the question.
Because they were unfair. Okay, ask the question. I'll answer.
When Trump said that our trade imbalance with all these other countries was unfair, and he raised our level of tariffs on these countries, did they do anything in response to that?
Yeah, some of them raise their tariff.
Right. So any country that raised their tariff, you got to deduct that from this money you're talking about, because that
Now,
those
the countries that now hold on. You're legit. But the countries that raise tariffs, and I don't know the exact number. Let's say 100. But out of the 100 countries that raise tariffs, about 26 are standing by it, and most of them got rid of the tariffs, and fucking Trump lowered their tariffs. He's making it an even trading ground between the U.S. and other trading partners. Yeah, that's like Canada. You said earlier, Trump ended all trade with Canada. No, he didn't. He terminated all trade negotiations. There's a huge difference.
I don't know.
Huge difference.
I don't know.
Ending trade and ending trade negotiations. Ending a negotiation is a way to get the upper hand. Have you ever read Art of the Deal? I have. And that's a brilliant fucking strategy.
Yeah, written by a man with 6 bankruptcies. That best-selling author?
3 bankruptcies. There you go again. Inflating reality.
Only 3,
Inflating reality.
Is that true? He only got 3?
Is the bankruptcies he filed weren't bankruptcies. They were Chapter 11s. They were reconsolidations. And you know how many of the loans weren't repaid? 0. He repaid every one of those fucking loans. But he had to redo his loans because the businesses failed. I'll give you that. His businesses failed, but he needed to figure a way how to fucking reallocate funds and pay all this shit off without fucking his credit up or his corporate credit. And he did. Chapter 11. As long as you can pay everything off and renegotiate the terms of your loans, you're fucking cool in the game.
So you're saying Chapter 11 is not a bankruptcy?
It's by definition a bankruptcy, but it's not a bankruptcy in the sense that you're not saying we're totally out of money, take what we got, that's all you're getting, fuck off. What he said was let's renegotiate. Chapter 11 says renegotiate the terms of the loan. It may take longer to pay you back. We may have to pay you a little less, but we'll eventually get you your shit back.
That sounds like alternative facts. I don't know. Listen, you and I disagree on the tariffs. I hope you're right and everybody else is wrong. That somehow the tariffs are going to make this country a bunch of money and it's not going to hurt everybody. Like most analysts are saying exactly the opposite of you. I haven't heard a lot of, even Charles Payne on Fox News and Neil Cavuto before he left, even they were saying that this shit is going to be on us. I haven't heard a lot of financial analysts. I mean, I think, what is the other? Stuart Varney. I think he even said the same thing. I haven't heard many people saying what you're saying there, Gen X, even though I hope you're right. What you're saying would be better for the country if we were making a bunch of money, but I haven't heard any analysts saying what you're saying.
Well, here's the last thing I got for you.
Sure.
The whole Argentinian thing,
the
Argentinian law, where you guys are saying, oh, well, Trump gave him $20 billion. No, he didn't give fucking $20 billion to anybody. What he did was an initial $20 billion, it's called a cash swap. It's basically a loan where, and let me give you a quick background on this. Let's say you've got a currency and I've got a currency.
And it's 40 billion, by the way. It's 40.
Your currency is worth 50 cents on the dollar of my currency. So what I do is a cash swap. I give you $1 million of my money, and you give me $2 million of your money, but there's interest. That's what a fucking cash line swap is. Now, the other $20 billion isn't even coming from the government. It's the U.S. Treasury working with private funders.
I don't like
here's
that.
Here's the third point, and I'll land my plane. This cash swap is normally done by the IMF, but Argentina has so many resources that Trump rolled the dice, and I don't think I agree with him on this, but he rolled the dice and said, okay, we'll take that fucking deal, hoping that the Argentinian resources will repay the loan and the interest. Okay. Now, here's where I agree with you, but I disagree with the way you approach it. I agree that he should not be fucking doing that. Our government should not be doing that, especially during a fucking government shutdown. There's Americans that are hungry. I've got friends, my personal friends, most female with kids that aren't getting SNAP benefit next month. You know what I'm doing? I'm giving them a little cash because they're my friends. But the government should be helping these Americans out. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of my conservative friends aren't going to agree with that, but he's hurting American people by giving money to everybody else. As far as the ballroom, rock and roll with the ballroom. I love what he said to Hillary Clinton. He's going to name it the Monica Lewinsky Ballroom. Go Trump.
Yeah, right. And that's the same guy wondering why the Democrats won't work with him. Anyway, let me just say this. In regards to what you said about Argentina and some of it's coming from private donors, I said I don't like that because he's saying the same thing about the White House ballroom is it ain't going to come out of the taxpayer money. It's coming from private donors. He said the same thing even now about the military because with the government shut down, the people are not going to get paid. And he said, well, we're going to find a way to keep paying them. Some of the money's going to be, he said some private donor already who wants
to save tax money on. I get it.
Right. Well, here's the problem with this. To me, it's just like this fucking jet from Qatar. People ain't just drowning you in cash for no damn reason at all. I mean, people giving you money for the ballroom. They're giving you money for Argentina. They're giving you money to redecorate the White House. And we're supposed to believe you just have all these friends that are just so eager to give you millions of dollars and they don't want nothing in return. Just like the Qatar jet was a gift. Now all of a sudden you hear Qatar is going to be getting trained to fly F-15s in America. The point I'm saying is people gonna want something for this shit. And we're not being told what the actual payback is. And they're getting deep in the U.S. government. Now they're responsible for having the White House remodeled. They're responsible for U.S. soldiers getting paid. We may end up attacking some country and we don't know why it happened. It's because somebody don't gave money to make sure the military is getting paid, essentially doing a virtual backdoor way of hiring our people as mercenaries. You shouldn't be taking money from every damn body without telling you who the people are.
And Tim, we agree there. We agree 100%, and I'll tell you why we agree. I don't think that shit's kosher too, and the reason I agree with you is the timing. The U.S. government is shut down because of the fucking Democrats. Now, what Trump should be...
Hold on. The U.S. government... Hold on. The U.S. government is shut down. Hang on. The U.S. government is shut down for the same fucking shit you just said you like. Him talking about Hillary Clinton, him tweeting out pictures of him dropping shit on liberals from a jet. That stuff is why the Democrats ain't working with him. Right now, you need the country up and running. You need to... What?
The U.S. government is shut down because the Democrats can't get their way funding illegal immigrants' health care.
No.
There's provisions in that. There's provisions in that because it ends at the end of 2025. There's provisions in the Obamacare bill where illegal immigrants get fucking health care. And there's bigger provisions where legal immigrants, those for asylum, this and that, get free health care as well. That's what they want to cut out.
Yeah, Gen X, I'm just going to tell even if I don't agree with any of that, but even if you're right, I'm just going to tell you, there is no way in hell the Democrats are going to work with Trump while he's doing all this petty ass high school antics bullshit that you're celebrating, all these jokes and insults. If you need two sides to work together, the last thing you should be doing is acting like Trump. Trump is on TV every day blaming the Democrats, insulting Democrats, talking about having Democrats brought to justice and arrested. Why the hell would they work with him? Why would they work with him? The Democrats already know even if they work with Trump and get the government back on track, he's still going to keep treating them like shit. There is zero motivation to work with the dude because of how he's acting.
As he should.
And as they should. They're doing. If he's doing what...
Let me explain why.
If he's doing what he should, then they're doing what they should.
You know me well enough, Tim, to know that a couple of years ago, I had an olive branch. I was willing to talk and this. When they killed Charlie Kirk,
oh my God!
I came to the realization.
Oh my God!
That the Democrats are fucking psycho.
You gonna shut the whole country down over Charlie Kirk? Are you kidding me? Over Charlie Kirk? What the fuck?
That was a big part of my switch. Yeah.
Charlie Kirk? Oh my God. You want the country shut down over Charlie Kirk. Some dude that went to colleges and debated with people.
Now, wait a second. You just said I want the country shut down.
You said it
because of Charlie Kirk. I never said that.
He shouldn't even be in the conversation.
You put words in my mouth.
He shouldn't be in the conversation.
What I said is I'm tired of fucking extending an olive branch to people that don't fucking like me because of my political beliefs and would rather see me dead. I went to the fucking No Kings protest. We were there. There were several Proud Boys.
Were you in your colors?
And I can tell you that we were not fucking welcome.
You're wait. You're acting shocked that the Proud Boys were not welcome at a No Kings protest. Is that what you're telling me?
Do I sound shocked? I expected it.
Okay then. So what is the complaint? I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect next? Snoopy and Heathcliff to play together? Of course you're not welcome at a No Kings protest.
You know what's funny is when you went to a fucking Trump rally, were you welcome?
If I wasn't wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, Gen X, you're a Proud Boy at a No Kings protest. And you showed up with other Proud Boys. If I showed up with a bunch of BLM, I wouldn't be welcome. They wouldn't have let me in.
You know what? You're a pretty sorry motherfucker, and I'm going to give you a...
How am I sorry?
I'm going to concede. You're absolutely right. I'm going to give you...
All right, we get somewhere. All right, I got to move it on, Gen X. You drive a hard bargain. You had me wondering that for a minute. Always a pleasure. Come back anytime.
Brother, have a good night, man. Have a great weekend. Love your program. I think you got a little bit of fucking research to do on a lot of the other shit, but you're kind of on point with some stuff. Much love, my friend.
I'll be sure to check out a few of those books from PragerU. I got to go. All right, moving on with the program, by the way. How do I call in the show, says James Harper. Thank you for the super chat. We're on Instagram and we're on TikTok currently. So if you have the Handsome Liberal, if you got TikTok or if you got the Instagram app, the Handsome Liberal, that's what we use across all platforms. I'm not currently on Facebook, but Tim Liberal's on Facebook. We are on X routinely. So if you got X, the Handsome Liberal, we are on all of those platforms. X, we do have a Truth Social account. I'm trying to figure out how to go live on Truth Social, but X, Truth Social, Rumble, Clapper, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, right now we're on TikTok as well. We're generally on about 3 or 4 platforms at the same time. Currently, we're right now live on X, Instagram, and YouTube. Can we get a pardon for Bill Cosby? Bill Cosby really don't need a pardon. I mean, it's kind of like Trump with the 34 felonies. Trump don't need a pardon. He'll be all right. I mean, so if you want to pardon, go ahead and pardon P. Diddy. That might be a little bit more beneficial to somebody who needs it. I think you mean it's the whitest the White House has ever been. Says, I don't know what you mean by that. Just joined. You a Republican or a Democrat, or you in the middle? I'm the average percussionist, like the name. I'm a little bit left of center. I'm not so far left that I think everything on the left is great and everything on the right is bad. I can see the, some good things on the right as well, but I do lean a little bit more left of center. You're a piece of shit racist. So I don't know if you're talking to me because this is an older comment. You were referring to somebody. He said, you're a piece of shit racist. So that's on point. All right, let me go back to the box. Continuing on. I don't know what I just hit there. Tap the screen, folks. Get your boy lights on up. We're having a hard time with you guys in the tap. It's late. I get it. A lot of lazy thumbs in here. Folks just ain't tapping the screen, helping your boy out. Mike, good evening. Welcome to the program. King Finn, I just saw you there, King. Mike, good evening.
Hey, how long have we been knowing each other? About almost a year and a half.
Yeah, about a year and a half, yeah. We've been doing the program. I've been doing the program about 4 years. Gen X, believe it or not, Gen X, who used to support the program, he was Mr. Galaxy back in the day. Actually, I've been talking to him probably about since the very beginning. I mean, probably at least 3 years.
Yeah, well, and that's probably not a good thing. But listen, um, because, and I think I can speak for at least 130 people in here when I can say the last 30 minutes of you talking to MAGA Reacts and Gen X made all of us a little dumber. I think I can speak for the entire fucking chat.
But you know, to some of my MAGA viewers, this refreshing to have a few MAGA on. Hold on a second, Mike. John Smith on YouTube. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody, but if you spam, we will have to block you. I get it. You think the host is a clown or maybe one of the callers. We get it, but you've typed about 100 clowns in there. If you keep doing it, I'm gonna have to block you. I'm not gonna block you yet because I believe in free speech, but you got your point across. Go ahead, Mike.
I just believe that I'm just speaking for the chat and for the people that watch your program. We got a little dumber. We got a little fucking dumber in the last 30 minutes, and you gave them a lot of time. So I think all of us feel like we was sitting in the car, windows up in the garage for just a little bit, because that was some of the most ignorant shit I've heard in a long time, Tim.
Well, when we say MAGA are our preferred guests and we like to talk to MAGA, I have to demonstrate.
Tim.
What?
Jesus Christ.
Give me some things you heard that you're concerned with. What did you hear that you didn't like?
Where do I start? MAGA Reacts don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Gen X said that they can get 1,700 miles on 2 tanks of gas.
That was hard. That was hard. That was hard.
So, do you know any vehicle that can get 850 miles out of 1 full tank?
That was, especially boats, by the way, too. A boat getting you, I mean, you would literally have to, the only way I could see that happen is if you were in a tugboat and you were dragging a yacht behind you full of fuel. Like fuel all over the decks and everything.
Tim, this shit is just, it's not even, it's funny because it's so stupid, but they believe that what they're talking about has any merit. MAGA Reacts never, ever says some shit he can source. Ever. He just, listen, the people in here, somebody said they lost 2 IQ points.
I saw that in Jermaine 75 says Trump does love the uneducated. So listen, I like to let the people speak.
Listen, why would you have architectural designs if you were fighting mold? Like, you don't sketch out a whole wing because you fucking found mold. Like, Tim, are you listening to this shit? Like, they got architectural designs, they got permits.
He did make me laugh when he indicated Trump may have taken down the East Wing because of mold. It was funny. It was funny.
This shit.
When he said mold, I couldn't help it. It did make me laugh. I mean, he was trying to find a way out, and he came up with mold. I mean, like, listen, the White House got carpenters on standby. They're not gonna have a mold problem in the White House.
Yeah, the shit that we all just heard. I'm just speaking for everybody, so I can get it off my chest. I can't even get to my goddamn subject.
Yeah, and I see Facts. And Facts only pointed out what Jenna he said it's a bankruptcy, but it's not really a. I let the people speak. I'm just gonna say I believe in free speech. I let the people speak.
Is that like the window's closed, but the window's not really closed?
I did refer to it as alternative facts, though. I actually did say that. I said it sounds like alternative facts.
I just can't with this. But anyway, man, listen. You were right. We're not going to see any proof of what's going on in Venezuela. People's human rights are going to continue to be. The humanitarian crisis that it's going to cause is just ridiculous. Like, what more can you do? What more can you do when you've got an aircraft carrier sitting off their waters? You think they're going to care about the innocent people?
No. But what about this? Because, listen, in regards to President Trump, because I get accused of fluff, and I always say there are legitimate reasons to vote for him. In the comments, Weston said, as Christians, we voted for Trump because abortion is wrong, in vitro is wrong, sneaking into the country illegally is wrong, homelessness is okay when it's because you can't, not because you're lazy. Now, what about different tenets of society like that? I mean, I get the last two callers. I get what you're saying about the last two callers, but I don't want to spend too much time going into that because some of that was wild. But what about that? Is there not legitimate reasons to support Trump?
No, there's not. First of all, whoever that person was that said that they were a Christian, you wouldn't be a Christian, but you thought that treating people inhumanely was Christian-like. You wouldn't be a Christian not making sure that people had something to eat and they had clothes on their back and they were human and they weren't a nationality or a race or something for you to look down on. That's not very Christian-like. So when you throw around the term being Christian as some high moral ground and then you say the things you say, it tells me that you're the devil acting like a Christian.
Wow. And listen, I don't, I say this all the time to the point where a couple of my viewers, Bobill, I think, are mocking me for saying it so often. But yeah, in the last 10 years or so, certainly since Trump has came on the scene, I'm not even associated with Christianity anymore. I'm seeing so many people who call themselves God-fearing Christians doing some awful, evil shit that I'm like, if this is what I'm gonna be hanging out when once I go through the pearly gates, I don't think I even want to go there. I mean, if these people are hanging out up there, I'm good. And I see the comments. Edwin says, so if they find roaches in the White House, what are they going to do? They're going to tear it down, according to my last guest. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I mean, but and that's the thing, Tim. It's like the hypocrisy for somebody to talk about Christianity and Trump himself is a self-proclaimed non-Christian. Yeah. He said he's not a Christian.
Why don't they know that though? I mean, there's plenty of videos of him saying this. I played a few videos of him saying it. He's also stated he's never asked God for forgiveness in his life on video. And they believe he is they believe not only is he Christian, but God specifically sent him to make America great.
And people felt the same way about Charles Manson, and they felt the same way about Jim Jones, and they felt the same way about David Koresh.
Yeah, but they didn't denounce Christianity like Trump. I mean, Trump actually stated, I have never asked God for forgiveness. He stated, I need Christians to vote for me. I'm not one of you. I mean, he's made it clear he's not a Christian.
And he doesn't think he'll be able to get into heaven. So you ask me why somebody would look at someone like that and uphold them to this level that is God-like.
So what is he offering? What is he offering there? If you believe that he's not Christian and the Christians love him, the evangelicals love him and swear by him, is it the pro-life stance? He's like one of my guests said he's getting rid of in vitro and stuff like that. I mean,
no.
What is he offering?
They hide. This is what I truly believe. And I'm pretty sure that person is white because they think that he's protecting their whiteness, but they don't want to have that conversation.
What do you mean by protecting their whiteness?
They think because they think they've lost something. Donald Trump and the Trump administration and the Heritage Foundation convinced white people that other people were taking something away from them and they want it back. Whether it's true or not. They make America great again. We want our country back. How many times have you heard the right use those words?
Take the country back.
Whether it's through Christianity or hate, they believe they are owed something. It doesn't matter. I told you before, when you talk about white Christians, they also held up the Bible while they were beating their slaves. So let's not act like the Bible has always served a purpose of righteousness for these motherfuckers. If we want to have the conversation, let's have the conversation. It's literally what it is. They act as if black people fought for civil rights. Civil rights, just treat us civil. Can we just be civil? This country right now is saying they don't want civility anymore. They don't want civility anymore.
Based on what? What's making you say that?
Attacking civil rights.
Well, the right is obviously going to disagree with that. The right is going to say, what the hell is the Trump administration doing to make you say they're attacking civil rights?
All the executive orders. Look at all the programs that they're canceling. Look how they're attacking democratic states. See, the term democratic means minorities. The democratic cities mean minorities.
I don't know about that. In regards to Portland, is not I mean, it's diverse, but Portland now, Chicago, DC, I get it, but Portland
is just in the way. but because, and what I mean by that is they're targeting. They know what their targets are, Tim. Do you think this administration is running around not aware of who their targets are?
Well, who or what is their target in your opinion?
Marginalized communities, Black, brown, and the LGBTQ community.
So you believe that the Trump administration is specific? Now, I mean, he said a lot of negative shit about the LGBTQ community, so I know he's not a fan of them. I mean, he's going after illegal immigrants. So you're saying he's targeting brown people? He's targeting legal brown people too, in your opinion?
With deportations, yes. Why do you think they're starting to muddy the waters? Why do you think they're starting to talk about using labeling Antifa a T group? Why do you think they're doing that?
You think they're going to label Antifa a terrorist group so that they can deport? You don't deport terrorists, do you?
No, you don't. Exactly. That's my point. Who was Antifa? They're American citizens.
Yeah.
You're gonna deem American citizens a T group, but you don't have a suspected target. You can call anybody that.
Yeah,
Once you deem that, and you don't have the same rights as U.S. citizens at that point, so they have nothing to prevent them from doing whatever they want to do.
It is troubling when you can, and I said that. I think I was talking to it might have not even been MAGA Rex. I think it was the guy I was talking to on Instagram, and I told him that I was like, once you start deeming Americans as terrorists, it does give you broad powers to do all sorts of shit. Real quick in the comments though, Handsome Stubby Finger says, Tim, the real question is critical thinking defined in what is the definition of being a Christian? That's what you and Mike need to ask, knowing and unknowing. What is the definition of being a Christian? I would assume that the definition, you guys can correct me, if I had to give my answer, I think the definition of being a Christian is trying to do as much as you can to be right by Christ. If you're following the teachings of the Bible, following the 10 Commandments, trying it to the best of your abilities and professing your sin when you fail. That's what I would assume it is. How would you define it?
That's I mean, you nailed it right on the head. That's how I would define it too. And that's why, by your definition, I can't give credence to a lot of these quote unquote Christians because their actions don't align. I mean, their words don't align with their actions.
Same.
Because by your definition, no Christian would be okay with mass deportations, irrespective of how families are torn apart or how aggressive it was or how inhumane it was or how violent it was. They would never allow those things to exist, being Christian-like, because God wouldn't want his children to treat it that way.
I don't disagree with that. I feel the same way. I do believe look, if Trump's goal is to make America great again or make America safe or whatever the case may be, we can talk about that. But his actions are so heavy-handed. Yeah, it's hard to see someone as being a Christian and supporting those heavy-handed tactics that he's using. Like what's going on off the coast of Venezuela, where he's choosing to literally, even if they are carrying drugs or whatever, he's literally choosing to murder people when there are other options. There's no way I'm going to believe that every boat they took out, the only option was to kill the people because they were about to make it to America and you couldn't stop them. There's no way that's believable. You're literally choosing death first.
And let me tell you, and because they could have just blew the engine off because we've got such a high, they could have blew the whole engine off the back of the boat. But here's something that's deeper, Tim. There hasn't been anything that he said, and he said some horrific shit. There's been nothing that he's said. I can't say nothing he's done because I know that he's done some, but that meme that he had with him flying in that jet overlooking U.S. citizens and shitting on them.
They like that. You heard MAGA Reacts. He likes that shit.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, not MAGA Reacts. Gen X. Gen X likes that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't get any lower than that. The president of the United States thinks U.S. citizens are shit.
Yeah.
They are, and he's the one to do it. Think about you got to look at, you got to really dig into it. Who he believes that those people are worth being shit on by him, like he's going to be the one to do it. And he posted that shit. Yeah. And there's people that like that shit, and that's why. And you want to ask me why I feel the way I feel about them, or giving them the benefit of the doubt? How could you? How can you give somebody the benefit of the doubt that is telling you, as about as plain as they fucking can, Tim, you don't matter to me at the highest level?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way.
And let me land my plane here, Tim, real quick. And I want everyone underneath me to feel the same way. The loyalists. He feels that way, and I want everybody underneath me to feel the same way. The mustache man got that shit, Tim. You guys think that I'm over the top on this shit. I know what I'm talking about.
I'm just going to say right now, when the government is closed or shut down, and you need the Democrats and the Republicans to work together to get the government back up and running, the last thing you should be doing is what Trump is doing. I mean, you heard Trump from 2012 under the Obama administration, or 2013 under the Obama administration, state that if the government shut down, it's going to be a stain on the president. And in his words, he said, because it's the president's job to bring everybody together. He's not doing that. I've said this on many other lives, and I'll say it again on this one. He said it yesterday as well. You can only do one or two things. You can either enjoy taking revenge on the Democrats for what you believe they did to you when they were in power, or you can work with the other side to get the government back up and running. You cannot do them at the same time. If you're going to be focused on getting revenge, you're not going to get people to work together and get the government back up and running. Right now, it seems like he is having more fun taking revenge on his adversaries than working on getting the country back up and running. But you're not going to do both of those things at the same time.
You're 100%. And the sad part is he told us he was going to do this.
Yeah.
When Sean Hannity asked him, Sean Hannity was damn near pleading with him not to answer the question the way he answered the question. You're not saying you'll be a dictator, are you?
Tried to read.
He said, well, just on day one. And then he said, just on day one.
Yeah.
That told you exactly what his mindset was then, and they overlooked that shit. So I don't want to listen to any. I don't
think they overlooked it. I mean, now that he's in office and he's doing the stuff that you're talking about, a lot of folks a lot of MAGA believe Trump is the best president we've ever had. So they didn't overlook it. They wanted it.
Those racist bigots, yeah, they did. But then there's the other ones that just overlooked it because they were comfortable and they wiped it. It's a different level, Tim. There's different levels of this shit. White people will be horrified if they truly knew the real thoughts of Trump and the people around him.
I can't imagine at this point you don't know that stuff. I can't imagine it.
They don't want to know. They don't want to know. And until it comes out of his mouth, they don't have to accept it. And then some still won't. But when you show an image of shitting on your people, you don't need to know nothing else.
Bro, they believe that the liberals shit on him, and therefore the liberals deserve to be shat on back.
That's just what the mustache man felt too, Tim. I
get what you're saying. I got to move it on, Mike. I hope you're wrong. I don't think you are, but I appreciate you coming on.
All right, man.
Anytime. By the way, tap the screen. See if we can go up to 60,000. It's a slow-moving. I'm about to say slow-moving cool. Slow-moving screen tappers tonight. Looking in the comments, if you want to protect the other countries more than Americans, then go to the other countries. I don't know how that it translates into people trying to protect other countries, though, Paul. I don't get that. I mean, if that's the case, then Trump is trying to bail out Argentina. So are you suggesting that he should go to Argentina? Because he's not bailing out Americans. So if you're going to bail out Argentina as opposed to helping out Americans, why don't you go to Argentina? That's what it sounds like you're saying, right? Am I hearing you right? Tap the screen. Feel free to smash that like button if you happen to be watching on YouTube. You guys know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We are indeed MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome on the program. Always have been, always will be. We go left of Bernie Sanders till I'm having a dinner with Q. By the way, if you favor open dialogue, this type of programming, we're generally here most weekdays. If you enjoy this type of dialogue, feel free to follow the program if you're watching on TikTok or Instagram. Give your boy a sub if you happen to be watching on YouTube. What does that say? Phantasma? We're going to go take an Instagram call. Mike, can you go to Australia without the proper paperwork? I used to live in Australia, and I do know that people from Papua New Guinea and Fiji and things, let me just say something. Every country on earth that is a second world country, and certainly all first world countries, have an illegal immigration problem. That is not something that is unique to America. There were plenty of folks entering Australia off the coast of their shores and shit. Now it's harder to get to Australia because it's an island in the middle of very harsh waters. But people are still coming there. The UK gets illegal immigrants. France gets illegal immigrants. Germany, Greece, hell, even Mexico gets illegal immigrants. Every country gets that. America's not unique in that. Who do we have here?
This is Phantasma.
What is that again?
Phantasma.
Phantasma. I'm thinking you sound like one of the contestants on American Idol. So what I want to ask, what am I getting wrong? What brought you up?
It's not what you get wrong, it's what the other guys are getting wrong. Like, they're looking at Trump like he's that fictional character that he made in those books, and that's not the case. He's basically a spoiled kid that has never been told no, and when he does get told no, he claims that everybody's out to get him.
Damn. Spoiled kid that's never been told no. I tend to believe that that's probably accurate with Trump. Trump has had a silver spoon in his life, his whole life. Big Dog, appreciate you helping your boy out there. Thank you, Big Dog, on TikTok. Yeah, I don't think Trump has heard the word no too much in his life. And if he does hear the word no, I don't know if he stops at no. I mean, for Trump, there are rumors that for Trump, no doesn't mean no, says some of the females he's been with. But I don't know. I don't think he has ever heard the word no.
It's not just that. Every time he looks like he's in trouble, he gets bailed out. There's always somebody that's coming in the table.
Yeah. And the election is certainly a continuance of that. But what about the notion? A lot of folks on the right believes that he is doing a great job for this country, one of the best we've ever had. What say you?
He's doing a terrible job. The reason why they're saying that he's doing a great job because A, they don't see the immediate effects of the stuff that he's doing, and B, they see their enemies complaining about him constantly.
So
MAGA will sit there and cheer from a burning building just so that they can watch their enemies burn with them.
Wait, say that again. They will cheer from a burning building just so that they can watch their enemies burn with them.
Yes.
Damn. So what is he offering that's so great? Just watching him take down their enemies. That alone is all they need for enjoyment.
Because he's saying the things that they've been thinking about this entire time. Remember, like over the years, they said that the country's gone soft and it's gone too PC. Like basically, Trump gives them the justification to be an asshole. And if you look at most of the MAGA, that's what they are. They're not even like really trying to make things better. All they want to do is just point in the face of their enemy and say, "Ha ha! Look, you losing."
Well, I gotta tell you, I mean, after Trump went through 80 some odd charges, keep in mind when Trump was getting charged with all those indictments and shit, the Democrats were saying, "Ha ha, he's losing" as well. They were doing it. So the Republicans
they were cheering, but the problem is the only reason why they were saying that he's finally getting his just dessert. The problem was he slow walked it along with Merrick Garland and all them slow walking it instead of actually getting in there and getting the indictments and going through the whole trial. He pushed that stuff back as much as he could, and anybody that looked favorable for him, he would push to that system to try and get a stay for the ones that were really trying to push on him.
Yeah, to me, President Trump king of loopholes. He knows how to work the system. He was doing that with Michael Cohen too back when he was a citizen. But to me, they tried to handle Trump in a professional manner that you would deal with everybody else, and you're dealing with somebody that knows the system and is not going to play by the same rules. I mean, it's like getting in a boxing ring with somebody who's going to use UFC moves on you. If the referee is going to let them put you in arm bars and shit like that, and you're just boxing, you're going to lose every time. Eventually, you got to use the same maneuvers they're using. Otherwise, you're going to lose. And Trump is willing to use whatever he can come up with. And I believe that is what hurt people like you're mentioning, Jack Smith and Merrick Garland and all these folks, is they tried to go through the system the slow, long way that it normally goes. And you're going against a guy that's going to use every loophole possible and might actually get elected and get all the protections that come with being elected along with it. If they had the chance to do it over again, that shit would move a lot quicker.
Not to mention, the fact that while he was president, like that's one thing I'll give him. He knows how to like curry favors.
Yeah, he's good.
Like if he can get you into a position that he can get a favor from you later on, he's going to use it to the best of his ability. And that's part of the reason why he got away with the secret documents case and all that other one, because he put people into the Supreme Court and he called in those favors like, hey, I need you to slow walk your deliberation so I could possibly win this election.
But is that a bad thing? A lot of folks say we wanted Trump because we needed a businessman in the White House to have this country ran like a business. I mean, is it a bad thing that he knows how to negotiate and curry favor? I mean, let's say he knew how to negotiate and curry favor with the likes of Putin or Kim Jong-un, would that not be a good thing?
That would be a good thing if he was actually effective at it.
Yeah.
He's more like that snobby kid kissing up to the bullies.
Yeah.
Like he wants to be just like the bullies, so he's kissing up to them and going out to everybody else, and it's not working. And all the people that was like, oh yeah, we need a businessman, and they didn't look into Trump's business at all. If they did, they would see like he's known for not paying contractors, getting sued and defaulting on businesses. Like just because he has those chapter level, that doesn't mean the other business that either get shut down for not paying their loans or got shut down by the government for cheating the customers.
Yeah. I mean, he's really good at loopholes. I mean, he knew how to, even because, like you mentioned, him dragging out the indictments until he got reelected. I mean, he dragged out a lot of court cases he had with contractors and things like that. He's just been really efficient at using the system to his benefit. It's worked well for him. I can't hate on the guy for finding, and I see in the comments, someone, Facts Only said that's corruption. I hate to sound like MAGA, but they all do it. He just does it out in the open and does it to a much greater level. But I'm assuming most of Washington tries to curry favors. That ain't something unique with Trump. He just does it a lot more often.
It's one thing to curry favors, but what he's doing right now, this is, like they said, is absolute corruption, because it's one thing to have a business in curry favor. It's another thing to be a leader of a powerful country and to be currying favors like that. When you're doing that with all these other countries, other smaller countries, then you're putting us in a position that if they do something wrong, we'll have to go in and help them out, like we're doing with Argentina.
Yeah. And I said the same thing. I was telling Gen X that I think I talked to about that, is that currying favors can be, listen, NATO is kind of a curry favor when we help each other out. But when you're doing a lot of deals behind the scenes, like Trump is stating that, he's getting money from associates to remodel the White House, or he's getting money from associates to help bail out Argentina, but he's not telling you who the associates are. That's when it's corrupt, because you don't know who the hell these people are. And if you don't know who they are, then you won't know if he's paying them back some kind of way for what they did.
Yeah. And another thing that MAGA likes to do is they're more about the image. So if he's sitting there telling them like, oh, I'm not taking the presidential salary, I'm working out this out my pocket, but it's like, okay, he can't take the presidential salary, because then it locks him into that emoluments clause about all the other stuff that he's been doing by like using his properties to have diplomats come in and fly in and stay there.
Right.
His vacations where like he charges the government an arm and a leg for all his security and all that every time he goes there. the fact that Melania, she don't even live in the White House. She lives still in New York.
Yeah, I think to me at this point, the I don't take a salary thing is kind of bullshit. I mean, look, if you got people, associates that are willing to give you millions of dollars to renovate the White House and bail out Argentina and things like that, you didn't take what is a presidential salary? 300-400 grand a year or something like that.
400 grand a year.
Yeah, you got people that giving you hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, this is chump change to you. You got unknown people that you're getting to pump out hundreds of millions of dollars. They can easily give you a few pennies to top off the salary you're not taking for some favor. So yeah, to me that's irrelevant at this point when people brag that he didn't take a salary.
And then what also gets me is a lot of stuff that MAGA like excuses, like say the big ugly bill and all these tax credits to the rich, saying like, oh yeah, we should do that, is because they think that they're at that level. They think that they're going to be benefiting from all these loopholes and stuff that they're making. When it's like, no, you're getting pennies while they're getting dollars.
Well, I mean, listen, if I was hanging out with Trump and he only gave me pennies while he's getting dollars because of how much I'm worth, those pennies could be life changing to me. I mean, you don't need to make me as rich as your buddies. You know, shit, a few thou every now and then might make a huge difference with me. So yeah, they're getting pennies, but it still may be worth it to them.
But they don't see the track record of all of Trump's associates. If you look at all of the associates he's had over the years, how many of them are still his associates, and how many of them are like either they
he don't keep friends very long. I mean, hanging around Trump, he usually for some reason seems to end badly. I definitely agree with that part. I got to move it on, but I guess they tend to think even if it's only temporary, it's worth it because there's no shortage of people lining up to hang around him. Because I think a lot of folks that are in his orbit now, that are part of his administration now, may end up paying a heavy price once his term is over with. But they see dollar signs right now and they think it's worth it.
Yeah, they all show us that, and that's what gets them every time. They look at the here and now, and they don't look at the past or the future. And once their usefulness is done, Trump acts like he ain't never met them before.
That is true, but you knew he did it to the guy before you, so you still decided to sign up, so you can't complain when he does it to you. I appreciate you coming on. Go ahead and drop out. Come on back anytime. Thank you very much.
All right.
And moving on with the program, the man has doubled, maybe tripled his wealth since becoming president in less than a year. Crazy. I bet he's probably done even more than that, facts only. I believe it's probably more than tripled his wealth since he became president. Because there's so much stuff that Trump is doing you don't know about. You don't know what's going on with his cryptocurrency or what his wife's cryptocurrency. I mean, they're you know, like I said, the Qatar jet, for instance, I don't believe that was free. And I absolutely don't believe that it's not going to be his aircraft. He can change his mind on a whim. He changed his mind about the renovation on the White House. If he changes his mind and decides to keep the jet, MAGA ain't going to bitch about that. So, yeah, there's no way in hell I believe that when that guy leave the White House, that jet ain't coming with him. He changes his mind every damn day. And MAGA's okay with it. But if he changes his mind on the jet, they're going to hate on him all of a sudden? No, he's going to keep that shit. And I would too if I had his power at this point. Looking in the comments, no one is above the law, so why does Donald Trump have 34 felonies and he's not in jail? You don't need to be above the law if nobody's enforcing it. We talk about the illegal immigrants, for instance. How long have they been coming in the country and a lot of the laws have been laxed or not enforced? That's what's kind of happening with President Trump, is he's doing a lot of things now, and Congress is just kind of turning a blind eye. I believe that, you know, the killings off the coast of Venezuela is probably not necessarily legal. I don't believe it's 100% legal with the deployments of the National Guard to various cities. I mean, he's doing all kinds of, but if you're not going to enforce it, it is what it is. And that's kind of what has happened, is that people are just kind of, you know, look, if I ride with Trump, it's going to help me out politically in my career, might help me out a lot in terms of money for me and my family. Fuck it. My family ain't here illegally. My family ain't in any of those boats off the coast of Venezuela. That's what's going on, in my humble opinion, is that people are turning a blind eye to a lot of stuff because they don't believe it's going to happen to them. Same thing with a lot of the Americans that are of Venezuelan and Cuban descent. They didn't believe it was going to happen to them. Farmers, I don't think the farmers believed that Trump was going to tariff them right out of business. They didn't believe it was going to happen to them. So that's why I believe that he's able to do that. Anyway, looking in the comments, by the way, tap the screen. Real quick before we move on. I don't know. Our armed forces should never have to worry about anything, says Pandora Thompson. Yeah, I agree with that, but I don't think I think that one of the biggest problems with our armed forces is we routinely send them into harm's way unnecessarily. I don't believe we should have. I don't listen. Venezuela's not going to do much to the U.S. Navy. You're not going to have a lot of casualties fucking up Venezuela, but you shouldn't be there. I don't believe that what Trump is doing in terms of Venezuela is necessary nor justified. I know MAGA disagrees with that. Free speech program, you can tell me in the comments. I'll read it. But when it comes to when he comes to the purpose of why we're there, you shouldn't be there. Then if the goal is to reduce fentanyl coming into America, you wouldn't start at Venezuela. I don't even think Venezuela would be your third or fourth country you would go to. You would start in a lot of other places first. Same thing with the National Guard and lowering crime. If the goal was to lower crime in American cities, you wouldn't start with Portland. Chicago ain't number one either. You wouldn't start with Chicago. So I don't think the stated goal for why Trump is doing this stuff is accurate. I think that he has other reasons for why he's doing it, but lowering crime is a side effect of what he's doing. So if you flood an area with the National Guard, it is going to lower crime in that area. But I don't believe that's why they're there. I don't believe that's why they're there. Let me go ahead and continue on with the show. Due process is actually bestowed on all people as an unalienable right. Go read the Constitution, buddy. Well, they're changing the Constitution. As Trump stated, we took away free speech. Freedom fighter President Trump is not racist. He is just like everyone else who is not racist. Unlike Democrats, Joe Biden is racist and Barack Obama is racist, and he is a communist. Damn, Fred. Well, I'll tell you this right now. In terms of the minority community, particularly African Americans, you're not going to find many African Americans that think that Biden is racist and Trump is not. We can debate it back and forth if you want, but in terms of the African American community, probably the Hispanic community now, certainly with the deportation and stuff, but when it comes to, and I'm not saying that there are not going to be African Americans that think Biden is racist. There are African Americans that do think Biden is racist, but there's going to be far more that's going to say Trump is. We can say they're not. We can say they're wrong or whatever, but there's going to be far more blacks, far more Hispanics that are probably going to say Trump is racist. I mean, just look at his cabinet. Look at Biden's cabinet and his appointments and the amount of diversity around Biden and compare that to Trump. Look at Trump's firings, all the DEIs and stuff he's claiming. It's mostly people of color. So you're probably not going to get that out of most of the people that are telling you Biden is racist and Trump is not are not going to be minorities. They're just not going to be minorities. Looking in the comments, though. Come on, dude. I thought you're more intelligent than this. No, Troy, this is a free speech program. If I'm getting something wrong, correct my ass. I'm okay with you correcting it, but this is my opinion. I don't believe that you're going to find anywhere near as many people of color that think Biden is racist and Trump is not. I just don't believe that. Please, we don't have a call-in number. Johnston, you have to go to TikTok or Instagram, which I'm about to go back to TikTok. King Finn, no EBT, a step towards martial law come will rise, says Will G. I hope you're wrong.
shit. What up, Tim? I'm gonna try to be nice tonight.
Thank you.
I've been cussing out MAGA all day long, so I'm gonna try to be nice tonight. But I am gonna say it is hilarious to hear the spin and the bullshit that come out of their mouth. You know what MAGA's problem? What MAGA's biggest problem is that they voted for cruelty. They thought that we would all just take it at face value, and now they all want a "We Are the Fucking World" song. Well, guess what, MAGA? Fuck your "We Are the World." Fuck your "We Are the World." Fuck your couch. Fuck your house. Fuck your dog. Fuck your car. Fuck your street. Fuck your town. Fuck all that. Okay.
Tell us how you really feel. Wait a minute. Why do you think MAGA wants to do a "We Are the World" with the MAGA? Don't want to be with the liberals.
I don't know, Tim. There are a lot of MAGA right now that are coming into lives. I host lives, coming into other creators' lives, crying and whining. The first thing they do, when we start talking to them, we ask them certain questions. And as soon as you ask them a question, they fucking crash. They crash out like the bitches that they is. But I'm not going to ask those questions tonight. I'm going to go on to some other shit.
Well, before you move on to some other shit, let me just say, and by the way, folks, help your boy finish off that TikTok cap goal. We're almost there. Let me just say this. To me, it makes no sense for anybody to be celebrating a lot of the trolling that Trump does, dropping shit on protesters and the stuff he says about Biden, while also saying that they want to work with the Democrats. That doesn't, just like I told Mike, you can only get revenge or working with the other side. You're not going to get them both at this. I'm not going to work with you while you're actively taking revenge on me. I mean, it's just not going to work. So if you're getting MAGA that makes it sound like they want to do a "We Are the World" with the liberals, while actively laughing and celebrating Trump's trolling, I mean that shit mixes like oil and water. It's not gonna. You're not gonna get both of those.
No. Ain't that a trip? I find it hilarious because when you start to break down their arguments, and when I talk to them, the first thing I hear is, "Oh, well, I'm a Christian, so I voted for Christian values." But you voted for what? You're not Christian. You can't say that you're Christian, but you're backing a guy who believes he never has to ask for forgiveness. You can't back a guy and say, I voted for his Christian values, and he knows for a fact, said in an interview himself, he don't think he's going to heaven. How is that Christian? But again, I digress. I'm trying to be nice, so we're not gonna go there. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep it on some real shit.
You know something? The only thing I can think of, and you're right, Trump did say he don't think he can get into heaven. My guess is because he's president now and he's meeting so many people, he's probably talked to some evangelicals and shit like that, and he's, I guess, because he probably was, I don't think he was hanging around a lot of religious people in his bachelor or in his married life. I mean, now that he's president, I think he's talked to enough of them to realize, shit, I'm not going what they talking about based on what I've done. I mean, that's what I think it is. He's realized it now that he's hanging around so many evangelical voters.
Tim, ain't we talking about the same dude who you push back on me all the time? Talking about he had a Bible in his hand and he wants to sell Bibles? Is this the same guy who we told you put the fucking Constitution in a Bible? Is this the same guy you pushed back on Gangsta Grandma just yesterday and said?
You talking about this guy on the screen there?
Yeah, that same motherfucker who held a Bible upside down. Yeah, that motherfucker.
Well, he wasn't trying to read it. He wasn't reading it at that point.
I fucking bet he wasn't, because he can't fucking read it. That same shit stain back there that is literally, I mean, dog, come on now. This is why I be saying you be fluffing. Because you know damn well that dude is not Christian. I told you what MAGA is in the first place. They are antinomian. They are mendacious, antinomian fucking liars. The problem is they don't want to face up and take accountability for their shit. They voted in a shit-tater who's literally like, shit, I don't even know what to call him anymore. I've ran out of names. And I think that's, to me, quite impossible that I've ran out of names. But I could probably make some more.
He's the president. You're not disrespecting the president, are you?
I would never call that motherfucker a president. I wouldn't call him a president because that motherfucker started disrespecting a person who's running for presidency before he even started running himself. Fuck him. I don't care. The reason he making that east wing bought the east wing for that ballroom is because he ran out of access to the JE Island, so he need another place to touch little kids at. Fuck out of here.
Wait a minute. You can't just you're convicting the guy stuff you have no evidence he's involved in.
Then why won't he let go of it? You know what, Tim? I'm not finna do that with you. I seen you watch Gangsta Grandma. I seen you gas Gangsta Grandma all yesterday. And I'm looking at you like, are you fucking serious? You know this shit you saying is gonna gas her up. You're not finna gas me like that. Cause you know where I sit at. If that motherfucker fall off a short pier tomorrow, I'm gonna laugh my ass off. If he falls down, gravy is gonna come out his legs. Oh. Fuck out of here. Ain't nobody worried about him. Oh, and the only reason, like I said, I asked that question for a reason. Did you look up that research? Because the other thing about it was, I think we talked about this the other day. Venezuela or Argentina is the place where the Confederates went too, right?
I heard that yesterday. I didn't know. I know about the World War II. I didn't know about the Confederates though.
Yeah. So the Nazis and the Confederates went down.
So what is this? A country with a history of being welcoming to racists?
Well, I wouldn't even say racist. I'd say shitbags. I mean, I don't want to call them racist because I might hurt MAGA's little feelings. Gen X might come into my live again and whine, or MAGA Reacts might, he might turn over the Slurpee machine in the little coffee shop he works in or whatever. I don't want to call MAGA. I don't want to call them racist because we might hurt their feelings. Man, fuck them. I don't care about that shit.
You're not gonna hurt the feelings of MAGA. It's the liberals that are the snowflakes. They tell you.
No, not when you ask them why they touch the dogs and they crash out.
Wait a minute.
When's the last time you heard a liberal?
What do you mean by why they touch the dogs? What the hell is that?
Yeah. Why do they touch the dogs? Why they touch the dogs? They already touching the kids. They already raping young women. Why they gotta mess with the dogs too?
Dogs?
You don't remember that story?
I haven't.
You don't remember that story?
No, I don't remember that.
For messing around with their dogs? Yeah, they mess around with the dog too. Why you gotta beat them? Why you gotta beat your kid and then sneak into her room to touch on her at night?
I haven't. And I see Fred, one of my viewers, Fred Corner, says to tell you to go fuck yourself. He obviously doesn't like what you're talking about.
Good. What's it? Vete pa caro. Oh, I fucked it up. Vete pa carajo. Puta. I don't give a fuck. Go fuck yourself too.
And Angel R says the president of Argentina fucks his dog for real. I haven't heard about this crazy shit.
I'm just saying, but see, that's besides the point because we still getting away from the point. See, here's the thing: they are starting to be exposed for the demons that they are. They okay with bringing the age of consent down to 14, so that way they can marry their sister's cousin, or they can marry their sister, or their motherfucking niece, or some shit like that. They okay with all of that shit and using the guise of Christian values to say it. So again, when I tell you that MAGA is not Christian, they are antinomian. Believe me when I say that. They are antinomian. Look the word up.
And you say antinomian, you mean folks who call themselves Christian, but they don't actually follow the word.
They don't think that they need to follow moral law. That is the basis of that word. They don't believe that they need to ask for, they believe because they say they are Christian, they do not need to observe moral law, which is exactly what the fuck MAGA is. Tell me I'm wrong. You got a president who's fucking deporting people left and right. He's basically crashing the economy of one country to make it a getaway to the escape in Argentina. He's importing everything from beef to what the fuck else do you want? I mean, eggs. Somebody told me eggs the other day. We're importing eggs. Why would you need to do that when this country here actually produces those things for 80%? Why would we need to import any beef from Argentina? Because we make 80% of our own beef.
Yeah, I don't get that because Trump did not campaign on bailing out Argentina. I don't know how all of a sudden Argentina came into the mix. That is, I mean, his goal was to get us out of overseas involvement and in conflicts and things like that. I don't know why all of a sudden, the minute he became president, Argentina became such a big deal. And of course, you're right, MAGAs seem to be okay with it. I don't understand it. Certainly when people in this country are hurting.
Yeah. And while he's doing all this within a government shutdown, which again he himself said the job falls on the president to keep the government together, right? So why isn't he doing his job? Meanwhile, he's knocking down the east wing of the fucking White House, and all of you idiots who keep saying, "Oh well, everybody makes changes to the White House." Nobody has made this much of a significant change to the White House, where they need to add 90,000 square feet of gold ass washing space and child touching space to the fucking White House. Again, the White House is literally our building, just like y'all said the Capitol was. Remember? Oh my God, yeah, the Capitol is our building. We can take it over. Remember Jan 6? Oh yeah, that's our building. We own that. We paid for that. Well, why don't you take your ass to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and tell that fucking pedo, or excuse me, that P3DO, that you don't want that fucking building made? Because he's putting gold in there while we're all about to be eating fucking potatoes. You understand what I'm saying? A whole nother Great Depression, because this fat, slobby motherfucker want to touch on babies and fucking kiss Putin's ass all motherfucking day long under the guise of, well, other leaders are able to entertain people. Well, don't you have like 6-7 golf courses? Ain't there Camp David? All while also padding his and his family's pocket. Because again, nobody's thinking about the backroom deals he made with India. Nobody's thinking about the other backrooms deals that he's made for quote unquote Trump Inc., which he ain't supposed to have nothing to do with any of that. But he got a jet from Qatar and still went over there and backed Bibi to bomb that bitch. So what are we talking about here?
Yeah, I honestly don't know why this ballroom had to be on White House grounds. You are correct. They could have built, I mean, because if you've been to DC in the White House, I mean, it's in a crowded area. So, like, it's not like there's going to be parking and all that. I mean, if you're building a place that can hold thousands of people, I mean, what do? They park somewhere else in their limos and stuff and get bussed over to it. It didn't have to be there. I don't know why it had to be right there at the White House. I don't understand it.
This construction is going to take him past the amount of time, the 3 years that it would take to build this, right? So who is he making it for? It's just like the fucking jet.
I don't think it's going to take him. I don't think it's going to take him past 3 years. Trump
retrofit that jet with the Air Force One.
I don't think it's going to take him past 3 years. I don't think it's going to take that long.
Yeah, the fuck it is. He's going to put all gold in there. You know that gaudy little dick motherfucker finna put all gold in there. He going to try to make it the biggest, best thing ever. It's going to be the greatest, the biggest thing ever. Stupid ass motherfucker. Who gonna use it? The only way you can continue to use that building and to use that space and not worry about it is if you don't plan on the peaceful transition of power.
Well, okay. you know they say if you build it, people will come. So if he builds it, it will go down as on his legacy as he made that change to the White House.
Why do you need another good question I had? Why do you need to have a place that fits 1,000 people when your government's shut down? Why are you building that now?
I don't disagree with the optics of it. Right now, while people are hurting, this is a luxury item. While people are suffering, this is right now, and there are some conservatives that are even saying right now is not the time to do this. The optics of it looks terrible, but this is your president. I got to move it on, King Finn, but Trump, optics be damned. He never cared about the optics, so this is what we got.
You know that's bullshit, right? You know that's bullshit, right?
That's our president.
See, that's why you got that Cheeto dust on your chest, man. Peace out. Again, I'm gonna say it every time I come on. Have a great night. Also, fuck MAGA. Fuck Donald Trump.
King Finn it is. Appreciate it. Good talk. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. I don't know why we normally are over 100,000 by now. That's a lot of lazy thumbs in here. Maybe it's getting late. So going after the people and asking for IDs for everybody, it's a gangsta state. I don't know what you mean by IDs. Like I'm okay with voter ID, for instance. I mean, there's some things I don't have a problem with, but going after everybody, I don't know what you mean by that. So I'll have to have you update what you're saying. Bro, this guy that you're talking to doesn't know how to think outside the box. Hang up and call me. Well, okay, we can do that. What do you mean by he doesn't think outside the box? I'd be curious to know what you're talking about. So we'll bring you up. Explain to me how many bugs do you have in your house or apartment right now? You don't know. I don't know what you're saying right now. So you're going to, yeah. Tear your whole house. Yeah, I don't know. To me, that was an excuse. What is the name there? What is your name there? That one. What does it say?
Do what?
What is the name there? It says that one something. I can't read it there.
That one Miata cart.
Okay. How you doing? What's going on? What you said my last caller didn't know what the hell he was talking about. What say you?
So look, man, it's a deeper rabbit hole than that. And I don't even mean to sound like a conspiracy theorist. Mention what was your favorite part about what he was saying?
We was having a conversation. I don't know about favorite part, but I do agree with.
Just toss something out there and.
Okay, I do.
I get everything he was saying.
Okay, I do agree that right now, while people are struggling and the government is closed, you should not be building another wing onto the White House.
Yes. So look, I agree with that too, but that was already in the works before the government shut down and all these Democratic states.
Postpone it. Postpone it.
Well, yeah, definitely you could postpone it, but my thing is, it's like. I get why they want to do it because it's been a mud hole. Every time it rains, it's just dangerous. You got women out there wearing high dollar shit and high heels and all this stuff. If it's muddy and nasty, the ground gets beat up so much. It should have been done years ago to be built on.
But you could add an awning to do that. You don't need to add a whole ballroom.
Even that, but I would definitely make the floor at least concrete. You know what I mean?
Okay,
just to save lawsuits. Because look, the lawsuits fall on us people. You know what I mean?
Ain't nobody suing the White House because of holes in the ground, man. What are you talking about?
Dude, that was the main thing that they were arguing. Like, dude, there's been fucking issues in the past. But anyways, that ain't even nothing I was trying to talk about.
I don't get where you're going with that. But the problem I have is
they're trying to just make it to where less people get hurt, and then they
who's gotten hurt?
That's a pain in the ass.
Who's gotten hurt at the White House?
Dead people, and I can see it. I used to work at a park. People would fall all the time with the rough ground. Dude, I'm telling you, I get it. It's just a basic.
You're telling me people are falling because of the White. They need to spend $300 million to fix this.
They want to make it nice, I guess, and that's one of the last corridors that's ever been renovated too. You can look that up.
I think that you're embarrassed, Davis. Thank you for the super chat. I think you're greatly overstating that. But as I said, also. Him stating that the money to do the renovation is coming from associates and he's not telling you who the people are, that sounds corrupt.
Fuck it. Honestly, I've never heard that before.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's not just the White House edition. He said this.
I'm not one way or the other, by the way. I just want to put that out there.
Okay. What I'm just simply saying, when you're getting money from unnamed sources and they're giving you tens of millions of dollars and you're not even telling us who's doing it, that shit sounds corrupt. Like he's bailing out Argentina and he's claiming that associates is helping do that. Who? You're not telling us who the people are.
It's going to be us.
Did you vote for him?
I didn't vote on this one.
Did you vote for him on any of the three?
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't you vote for him this third time?
I'm kind of independent.
So you voted for him. You
gotta get away from the Republicans, for sure.
You say that again?
I meant to say Democrats. We gotta get away from the Democrats.
Okay.
They've been running this shit for way too long.
Okay. So you voted for Trump over Hillary Clinton, right?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you voted for Trump over Biden in 2020?
Oh, Biden's a fucking turd. But no, I didn't even vote. What do you mean? When?
In 2020, when Trump ran against Biden.
Yeah. I thought you said 2024.
No. In 2020, when Trump ran against Biden, you voted for Trump again.
In 2020.
Yeah, 2020, the election in 2020.
Yeah.
You voted for Trump.
Like Hillary.
Huh? Hillary didn't run in
I don't
20.
care.
Hillary didn't run in 2020. She ran in 2016.
2018, sorry.
Okay. So you voted for Trump the first and second. This is the third time he just ran. So you voted for him against Hillary.
Yeah, the third time okay, yeah. He should have never lost that last election to begin with. I keep getting it all mixed up.
Why shouldn't he have lost?
He shouldn't have lost. He should have just got it, and then they wouldn't have to worry about him now. But I'm glad he did lose. Honestly, the best thing in the world is that he did lose that second unit.
Why is that?
Because now he's back in here getting shit right again.
Now you started out.
Shit about Japan too.
You started out by saying you're not a Trumper, you're an independent. You don't sound very independent.
No, I was very, very Republican at first.
You sound like you're still very, very.
He lost me at the 2A shit.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you get a bunch of red flag laws and shit like that.
Who lost you at the 2A shit?
Trump.
Okay.
He started stepping on my Second Amendment, and I don't care for that.
All right.
But he's gonna get shit back on track. I didn't vote for him, but this time I'm saying, but he's gonna get shit back on track.
What makes you believe that?
It ain't gonna happen overnight.
That's what he promised, though.
It ain't gonna happen overnight. It can't.
So he lied.
You're turning an entire economic masterpiece of trash into something that we can at least float with.
So when he promised to do it,
happen overnight.
So when he promised to do it overnight, he was lying.
You guys over understood what he's saying. He talks like me, like, oh, I'm gonna do it overnight. No, that ain't what I mean. It's gonna happen at least back to where we're floating is what he's trying to say. Everybody takes every word like I see this shit too. I say stuff and people take it for face value all the time. It's like you can't take everything somebody says at face value. You gotta understand how to read how they're saying it.
That doesn't
It's
make
a different type. He uses a different type of slang, dog. I use country boy slang. You use your slang. He uses his slang. You know what I mean?
Now, listen, you're president of 300 and something million people. You can't depend on everybody to reinterpret your word. I mean, you should be speaking frank. You shouldn't be using slang if you're speaking this. Everybody don't know how to interpret that shit. Be clear about what you're going to do.
Hear me out, OG. Hear me out. It's just like you might use some slang where I gotta like try to interpret it. Like I might not know what you're saying, you know what I mean? And then I gotta sit there and like kind of think, oh, that's what he meant. You know what I mean? I might say some shit like country boy ass shit where you're like, what the fuck did he just say type shit? And it take you a second to pick it apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you don't do that as president. You can do that as you and I as friends or some shit. But when you got 300 million people that are listening to your every word, you can't expect all these people to know your slang and all this other bullshit you're talking. You should be clear and concise as possible when you're a professional operating in a position like that.
Oh, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, we are all human, and it's kind of nice to have a president that actually acts like a homeboy. You know what I mean?
Well, we're all human in
He
terms
acts
of
like
it.
a normal person, basically.
Right.
You know what
So the people interpreting him are human too. So if he's speaking to them in slang and they don't get it, they're human too.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So
What's up with that thin blue line on the back of your wall there?
I support the police.
Yeah, I'm actually an auditor. Yeah.
Well, you voting for you're an auditor and you support Trump when he's using ICE like the way he's using them. You realize how much
Republican that's an auditor?
Yeah, you realize how much shit as your audits would catch ICE doing that's wrong?
I know all about ICE. I know it's a controversial thing.
But you voted for it.
But I don't want that shit. But at the same time, if you're not legal, you shouldn't have the right to have the rights that we have.
Well, but they're doing this to people.
But somebody decided that's an okay thing, and they voted for it, and that's what it is. That's what the law determines it as.
To me,
do you know the five elements of the First Amendment?
What do you mean? Speech, assembly, press. You talking about that stuff? Religion?
What are all five elements? You got three of them.
Religion, freedom to assemble, freedom of the press,
The fifth one's the hardest, brother.
Okay, give it to me.
Freedom of speech, press, religion, assembly, and petition. Do you know the fourth?
I thought you just gave me all 5. Oh, you told a few more.
No, do you know the Fourth Amendment?
Yeah, unwarranted searches and seizures.
Right to remain secure in your person's papers, houses, and effects, absent of a crime.
Yeah, unwarranted searches and seizures. Yeah,
they have reasonable, articulable suspicion.
Yeah,
you got it right. I ain't saying you got it wrong.
Yeah, all of the shit that Trump is not doing, the guy you voted for, he's violating both of those amendments.
No, ICE is violating people's rights only because they said that illegals can have the same rights.
It's not just, hold on, it's not just ICE. President Trump, for instance, outlawing flag burning. That's not ICE doing that, that's him. That's a free speech right he's taking away.
Dude, cops are literally kicking in the wrong doors.
Ain't that what you voted for?
No, it's not at all. That's why I said I'm kind of an independent now.
But you just said he's going to get things back on track. That includes people getting their doors kicked in.
Back on track as best as he can. He can't fix the whole world. You can only fix so much of it, man. That's a lot of work.
I don't think you're not fixing the world when you're deliberately taking away people's amendments. You're taking away people's Bill of Rights. I mean, that ain't fixing the world.
Should not have the same God-given birthrights that we have as Americans. Not if you go over to other countries, just like a bunch of those, there's like 4,500 people. I don't remember what country they flew to, but they were trying to protest, and they literally landed, and the country was telling them, "We don't want you here. Fly back."
Okay,
because they knew that it was going to ensue a bunch of riots and kind of shit like that.
So, what is America going to pattern themselves after some of the worst countries on earth?
Do what? Sorry.
So is America?
Understand the context.
Is America going to pattern themselves after awful countries like that?
Well, it was the Antifa that flew over there and decided to go to a country that didn't want them.
Okay, that I don't.
It's no joke, bro.
I can't speak on that, but I got to move it on. Your signal's breaking up somewhat. I appreciate you coming through, man. Come on back anytime, but your signal's breaking up a little bit.
I always enjoy talking to you, even if we disagree, brother.
Anytime. Thank you for coming through. Go ahead and drop it out, and I'll go ahead and move on with the actual program. Thank you for coming through. Looking in the comments, President Trump is doing President Trump is doing great and living up to his campaign promises. Illegals don't have the same constitutional rights the U.S. citizens do. Well, I guess we can break your comment in two pieces. No, you're right. Illegals do not have the same rights, same constitutional rights as citizens. I don't think they do. Let me stop that. I know they don't have all the same rights as American citizens do, but I believe I think they are protected by a lot of the same rights. But I'm not going to disagree with you totally because I can't completely speak on that. But the first half of your statement is wrong, Michael May. He says President Trump is doing great and living up to his campaign promises. No, he's not. He's not living up to his campaign promises. There's no way in hell you thought a year from now, or better yet, a year ago, if we go back to late October 2024, you wouldn't have thought Ghislaine Maxwell would be in minimum security and we would still be trying to figure out what's on the Epstein file. You wouldn't have thought that. You absolutely would not have thought that. You wouldn't, even the tariffs. He's overdone the tariffs. They're moving all around the place. You wouldn't have expected that. He didn't campaign on giving Argentina $40 billion. He's doing all kinds of shit he didn't campaign on. So I don't buy into the claim that he's living up to his campaign promises. What he is actually doing is changing shit, and you're not holding him accountable for the stuff he's changing. You're only focusing on the things that he's doing that you agree with, but the things that he's lying on or changing and not doing, you're not holding him accountable for it. But he's not living up to all of his campaign promises. He didn't lower the price of groceries like he promised us quick. Obviously, the wars didn't end in 24 hours. You're just giving him a pass on a bunch of shit. He's not living up to all his campaign promises. There's plenty of campaign promises that he has not met. American companies are spending more for their product. Yeah, I mean, the tariffs, what's happening with the farmers, that ain't his. I'm sure when he was doing rallies in those small American cities, he wasn't telling the farmers they were going to be in the position they're in right now. So, even the Americans of Venezuelan and Cuban descent down in Florida. He ain't living up to his campaign promises with them. They didn't know he was going to do all of that shit. So, yeah, he's not living up to his he's living up to a couple of them. I mean, he's obviously securing the border. He obviously protected the integrity of women's sports. But outside of that, there's a whole lot of stuff he promised that he's not doing. It's just kind of like what my last caller said. Well, we didn't take him at face value. We kind of read between the lines. We knew what he was saying wasn't going to happen. Like, then it's not a campaign promise. He promised 24 hours. He didn't deliver. He's wiping out fentanyl. You really believe that, Kevin? You really believe that Kelvin, rather, you really believe that President Trump is going to make it difficult to get fentanyl in this country by going after Venezuela? Okay. All right, good luck with that. If the war on drugs did not stop people from getting high in this country, I don't know why you think what he's doing in Venezuela is going to do it. But I do see, Kelvin, you said you do believe it. We'll see. That's a good one to discuss in the future. Let's say, okay, Trump is off the coast of Venezuela right now. Let's say a year from now. Let's see if you're hearing that there is a drought on the streets on fentanyl. Let's see how it turns out. A year from now, if what Trump is doing is so effective, you should hear that the price of black market fentanyl is shooting up in value because people are having a hard time finding it. But as Rand Paul stated, fentanyl doesn't come from Venezuela. So I don't believe he's going to reduce fentanyl in the country. I don't. But you do. Looking in the comments, has any president really delivered? Probably the answer is no. But I think Trump's going to get treated differently because he made so many campaign promises that were like incredible. 24 hours, you could do this stuff really quick. He made himself sound like a superstar. So he's going to get treated a little bit different than Obama or Biden or Clinton or somebody like that. I mean, because he made himself sound like he could literally be Superman. And people believe that. Now that he's not doing it, to save face, they're claiming they didn't really believe him at face value. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Listen, I was at 2 of Trump's rallies. Some people believe that shit. They actually did believe it was going to happen the way he said it was going to happen. And by the way, even though I didn't vote for Trump, I believe some of it myself. I actually believed and said on my own live that if you want the Ukrainian-Russian war to end, Trump makes a much better candidate than Kamala Harris. And I stated it because I believed at the time that Trump had a really good relationship with Putin dating back years, and he probably could get Putin to do that. I've been proven completely wrong on that. So even I believe some of it. So no, people believe that stuff. Anyhow, I do appreciate the small 61,000 likes. I don't know. I couldn't get you guys to tap the screen tonight, so I guess it's time to run it up. But thank you for the 61,000, the folks who helped your boy get some of the TikTok cap goals. We came close. Asked you guys to help your boy out. Some of you guys came close, but thank you folks that did. MAGA Reacts, appreciate the rose. MAGA Reacts, you got hammered tonight. MAGA React. Yeah, and I agree with you. King Finn says, look how that shit aged. Trump says a lot of things that don't age well. Whole lot of statements he makes against his adversaries. And then when it's actually on him, it don't age well. It does not age well at all. Donald Trump is a clown, says Eve. That Trump is crying about it. I'm for Trump 2028. He is for America the free, says Frickle. You know the thing I find really humorous? Trump keeps saying, I'm not a king, and the right keeps saying, if he was a king, you wouldn't be able to protest, which is true. They're not protesting because he is a king. They're protesting because they think he wants to be a king. But then the right is claiming, well, he's not a king, and you guys are getting... Look, I'm just going to say it like this. You can't bitch about people calling you a fucking king when you're posting pictures of yourself wearing crowns. Trump has posted a lot of pictures on social media of him wearing crowns. I don't give a fuck if he thinks he's a king or he's only doing it to troll the left. Fact is, he's showing pictures of himself as a king. So if you're going to joke about it or make references to you being a king, you can't bitch and complain about people who say you want to be a king. That's what you're doing. You're the one that's sending pictures. Nobody's making you do that. Even the video he showed of him flying an aircraft and dropping shit on the protesters, he had a crown on in that video. He wasn't wearing a pilot's helmet. He had on a fucking crown. So I don't want to hear people bitching that, well, he ain't a king, you liberals are getting... No, he the one that's saying it. And in the comments, he is not a king, he is not a felon either. That's Fred, that's kind of wrong there. Dude, you are a snowflake. It's literally a joke. MC, it ain't fucking funny. Okay, look, if I'm making fart jokes and somebody fuck around and tell me I got diarrhea, what can I say? I'm the one that's joking about farting, right? If you're joking about being a king, then you can't bitch and complain when people say your ass trying to be a king. People fucking hurting right now. Why the fuck you telling jokes? This ain't a comedy show. That's stupid. I'm just gonna tell you, to me, that is, not only is it childish, it's irresponsible. The optics are terrible. Right now, people are struggling. They don't know if the SNAP benefits are going to get cut. People are actually working and not even receiving a fucking paycheck right now. Oh, I'm going to take some time out and tell a joke. Get the fuck out of here with that. What kind of shit is that? This ain't the time to be joking right now. Actually run the goddamn country for a minute. We didn't vote for a comedian. We voted for a president. Run the goddamn country. Tell the jokes when actually things are going good. I mean, it's like literally replacing the violinist on the Titanic when it's sinking and putting a comedian out there. Right now, people got other shit to worry about. Tell the jokes later. This is just, that shit is just improper, unprofessional. And I don't know why people think that that's okay right now. Is to tell, and by the way, I agree with you too in the comments, Darius. A joke's supposed to be funny. The meme was childish. Yeah, it wasn't even funny to half of America. I mean, what's next? Somebody standing behind Charlie Kirk while he's bleeding out laughing? I mean, do you find that funny? Well, it's just a joke. No, it's not. It's terrible. It's terrible. You don't make jokes about people's damn misery. You can understand that with Charlie Kirk, but you don't understand it with the fucking liberals, huh? It's ridiculous. Making jokes when people suffering. It's sad that those lawyers in DC, the only ones who doesn't phase, I thought they were sent there to solve problems. I don't know, but like I said, I'm just going to simply say that you cannot get the liberals and conservatives to work together to open up the government. You got countries that your terrorists are going all over the fucking place with. You're borderlining on war with Venezuela, and you're deciding in the middle of all of that chaos. Let me tell some jokes. Just that to me just comes across as dumb as fuck. I'll give Trump credit when he does something right. That ain't right. There is nothing right about that. That to me is just stupid to find anything comical in the midst of what's going on right now. Grocery prices are astronomical. Healthcare is, people are potentially about to lose their... Well, let me tell some jokes right now. That's stupid. That's really stupid. Anyhow, I do appreciate the 62,000. As always, thank you folks for tuning in. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. That's why you hear sometimes you got to get, damn near hold a sermon when somebody says some dumb shit like, it's a joke. Anyway, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will be here tomorrow. If you enjoy this type of dialogue from all sides of the aisle, I am going to ask what I always ask. Feel free to follow your boy if you're watching on TikTok or Instagram. Give your guy a sub if you're watching on YouTube. And I see the comment. Somebody says it's just a prank. Just a prank, bro. Yeah, it is just a prank. But when you watch the just a prank videos all over social media, sometimes you see some of those pranks and you're like, that ain't a good prank. Jump out of the car with an AR-15 at a cop. Just a prank, just a prank. No, that's not a good prank. Some things are not worth pranking about. And right now, when people are struggling and they barely know what they're doing, this ain't the time to be pranking. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Y'all take care. It's your boy Tim, the Z Handsome Liberal. I got to go. Stay safe.